It's ta-da! Yeah. Sorry, I messed that up last time. But here we go, round 2 of the funny stream, the funny little yap stream. We're gonna get on here and yap today is what we're gonna do. I guess I might as well go ahead and unlist that other one while I'm at it. Oops! Oops! I made a funny little oops, but that's okay. Yeah, I like to have it set to low latency so that way I can interact with the chat more, like, directly, you know. It doesn't take 40 seconds for, my speaking to, catch up to you guys, so. Woo! Anyway, hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing today? You know, I had so much fun getting on here and just yapping the other day that I thought, hey, well, why not get on here and do some more yapping with you guys, because that was just a fun time. I have a stream goal for today. If any of you guys are interested in super chatting, you know, I'll be reading those out loud. I'll read any questions or comments or just anything. You can ask me anything. You can say anything to me, and I will say words back to you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But it's kind of a big goal. I realize that I have it set to 200 for super chats. That would be a really cool, a really super swell, super cool goal. I don't know if we'll reach it, but hey, I figured we could give it a shot, right? But there is a theme to today's stream. It's not even really a theme. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun to get on here and talk a little bit about some Nintendo stuff. You know? I see a bunch of people still trickling in, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll just wait a moment or two before we get into the yap sesh, you know what I mean? The Blorg. You're doing good. This is only your second time watching my streams, but you really enjoy my content. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Excuse me. I need to get, like, a better chat box. I need to get, like, a custom chat box. I use Streamlabs. But their selection of chat text and fonts and stuff is very limited. So, kind of just looks not amazing as like a chat thing. $2 super chat already from the Archist Archer. Monkey. Well, thank you. Thank you for Monkey, Mr. Archist Archer. I appreciate that. So, Al, what do you think we might see with the Switch 2? A 3DS situation where they change gears 6 months in, or a Wii U situation where they stick to their guns for the next 5 years? Are we talking about in terms of, like, what we're expecting from, like, the success of this console? And, like, what might happen if Nintendo isn't very successful with this console? Because I would say that, I don't know. Such an easy cop-out answer. I don't know. No, but for real, like, I'm kind of expecting, well, it's already confirmed, basically. The launch window for the Switch 2 is going to be a massive, huge, big fat success for them. But what I think is going to be interesting is what's going to happen after the launch period is said and done, you know, because there's a lot of hardcore fans out there, like myself, like a lot of you guys out there, you know, who we're here for this thing. We're going to buy the Switch 2. We want to get that right off the rip, right? Like, that's going to be, we're the early adopters. That is what the launch period is for brand new consoles. It's for the hardcore fans. After that is all said and done, it's going to be really interesting to see what the adoption rate is for the system moving forward. Because, I mean, it's expensive. It really is. I think most people are willing to accept the price of the console itself, even though it's still a lot of money, you know. It's not a sexy price tag. Nobody wants to just drop $500 for a new console out of nowhere, but I think people can accept that because Nintendo's catching up to the times, you know, in terms of the power of this thing. It's the games. It's those games, man. Those dang games. $80 is a lot to ask for, and I know, like, all the other companies are picking up with it now, too. By the way, I see the super chats, and I'll get to them in just a moment. Yeah, it's kind of a lot. I'm in a weird position with how I personally feel about the prices because, well, I don't like it. I don't like having to spend $80 on a new video game, but at the same time, like, is it weird that I can kind of understand the economic circumstances for them to raise the prices? It's really, I don't want to sound like I'm justifying it, because, I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here, saying this. I don't like it. Let me just make it clear, but I can, to an extent, understand why prices on games are going up. Don't get me wrong. It's just everything else surrounding that. You know, the economic circumstances for everybody just kind of sucks, and wages aren't going up to match. So that's kind of a big issue when it comes to raising the prices on game consoles, you know. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. I wouldn't be shocked if the sales slow down after the launch period is said and done, you know. And then maybe Nintendo will consider lowering some of the prices. I mean, that's what happened with the 3DS. People didn't quite like the prices on that thing. But then again, it was also a different circumstance where there weren't really a whole lot of big exclusive games that people were interested in at the launch of the 3DS. So, once those games started rolling out, though, people started picking the thing up, you know. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Anyway, let me read some super chats, because I got two more while I was yapping. Adult Gim, $2. Who would win? One Donkey Kong or 100 men? Oh, my friend. Those 100 men, they're going to be cruising for a bruising. They're going up against my boy Donkey. Donkey, he's got it. I'm sorry. Those 100 men, they don't stand a chance. Donkey Kong punched the moon with his fist and sent it into the planet, all to beat up a wooden tiki guy. They ain't got nothing on my boy Danky. Thank you for the super chat. Haku Zaku, the $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Can you play and review the Shantae games? I'd love to see you play and review the series of one of my favorite franchises. Hey, anything's possible. I've never actually played the Shantae games. They're ones I wouldn't mind getting around to eventually, because they're kind of like platformy, right? And I love me some platforming. So, I don't know, it's a possibility. I'm kind of in a weird position right now with my YouTube channel, because I'm seeing a lot of traffic, a lot of unprecedented traffic for the first time over here. And it's all really largely thanks to Donkey Kong. And it's super cool. I'm super happy and, you know, just elated to be in the position that I'm in. Super lucky. And I've noticed that whenever I try to tackle games that aren't big and new and relevant, they fall flat on their face. You know, I did a video a couple weeks ago on Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, and I was super proud of how that video came out. If you guys haven't seen it, you should totally watch it. I'm just gassing up my own stuff here. But I was really proud of it. I thought it came out really good. And it fell flat on its face, unfortunately. I was expecting that to happen. That's what happened. So, will I get around to Shantae eventually? I mean, it's a possibility. Maybe I could, like, just play it on stream some night. Skeezix! Hi, Skeezix! I haven't seen you in a while, man. I'm glad to see you here. I haven't streamed in a while, but that's a name, that's a face I remember. Mr. Skeezix. Thank you for the super chat, Hakuzaku. Sorry if that wasn't a great answer. Tempted Jester with the $5 super chat. Uncle Al's gonna use our super chats to buy a third Switch 2. Okay. I actually already have a third one ordered. I bought 3 by accident. Because I did a whole video about it. I was scrambling around trying to get my Switches. I really just needed one. That was my only goal, man. I just wanted one Switch 2. I just needed one for Donkey Kong. I ended up with 3. So I'm giving one to my wife, and I'm giving one to my pal. I don't want to, like, shout him out directly because I don't want you guys to harass him for it. Yeah. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I'll use it to buy a 4th Switch. Sketchy Paisano, the $2 super chat. Would you want a standalone K. Rool game, dude? There's nothing that I would want more than a standalone K. Rool game. You kidding me? That would be insane. That would just be bonkers. I guess I want K. Rool back in Bonanza before I want a standalone K. Rool game, you know? I want to see Donkey Kong and King K. Rool clashing, just beating each other's ass. Oh my god, there's so many super chats coming in. Thank you guys so much. I want to see them collide. These juggernauts, you know, beating the tar out of each other. Yeah. Yeah. But then we can get a K. Rool game. I'm down for that. Whoops. Oh my god, I almost... Okay. I clicked a button on my mouse and I thought I was going somewhere else. Jeez Louise. Alright. Holy crap. Holy crap on a cracker. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. You guys are making my night. Turbo Pikachu with the $5 super chat. The Switch 2 is the first console I can remember since the N64 with Mario 64 that is launching with an actual flagship Game of the Year contender in Bonanza. Yeah! You know? I think you're right. Let me think. Yeah, because the GameCube launched with Luigi's Mansion. The Wii... What even was on the Wii at launch? I don't even know. Wii Sports? That's not a Game of the Year contender. Wii U was New Super Mario Bros. And then the Switch had Zelda. Well, okay, so I guess Zelda, Breath of the Wild, was a Game of the Year contender, you know. Didn't it win Game of the Year? I don't know. Well, either way, Bonanza, absolutely. Such a great first game. I can't find the words. My wife distracted me with guac.
I wanted to know if you wanted any. I'm sorry.
No, not right now. Thank you. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, like, you know, dude, Bonanza just looks so freaking amazing, and, like, I have a little bit of bias, but if I set my bias aside, like, seriously, it just looks incredible. And there's a part of me that's wondering now, like, you know, is there a possibility that Bonanza could even be Game of the Year this year? You know, I was thinking that GTA 5 was going to be the big contender against Donkey Kong going into the holiday season, but, well, now GTA isn't coming out till next year. So, I don't know. I don't know what else is even coming out this year. That would be so crazy if platformer games won at the Game Awards 2 years in a row, though. But it would just be ultra amazing if Donkey Kong won, because that just reaffirms to me, and hopefully Nintendo, that, like, hey, look, it's time to do more with Donkey Kong, okay? Alright. Well, thank you, Turbo Pikachu, for that super chat. Thank you so much. Keyshawn, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Far. $5 super chat. Plants vs. Zombies is turning 15 this month. Have you played the series? I have not. I have not played Plants vs. Zombies. I'm sorry, I don't have much to has to say about that. $5 super chat. Gotta support the Kong King. Love you, man. Also, would you be on to guest appearing on a podcast? Well, thank you, Star Chronics, for the $5 super chat. I don't know. It's a possibility. I wouldn't say no. I would never say never, right? Go ahead and I don't know if you have Twitter or something, but feel free to reach out there. I think aren't you pals with Demeech? I feel like I've seen your name around on Demeech's channel or something. Oops, I guess I should get... Man, I'm like way up in the chat, like looking at these super chats while you guys are also sending a bunch of messages, so I'm missing like all the messages. I'm really sorry. I need to like get through these super chats a little quicker. TPHO, $5. Hey Al, how's it going? Just curious and wondering how Kroger's Quest is handling. Well, thank you for the $5 super chat. Kroger is kind of on ice right now, as much as I hate to say it. Look, listen, I want to make Kroger a reality someday. That is like my long-term goal. Whenever I decided that I was going to work on Kroger, I made it was a bad decision to publicly talk about it when I did, because yeah, it's gonna be a while. I'm not in the financial place to make that game a reality, nor am I in like I don't know. It's just not the right time for it, I would say. But man, I would love to make that a reality someday. It's definitely something that's on my back burner that I'd like to get back around to. Maybe if this channel is starting to take off a little bit, starting to do a bit better. So, maybe once this channel gets to a point where it's really bustling, I can revisit that project and make something happen there. Hey, SpongeBob profile guy, please stop spamming the chat. Thank you. I don't mind you sending some messages, but that's a little bit much there, my friend. Okay. Pibbles, $5 super chat. You're quickly becoming one of my favorite content creators. Have you seen the Kong documentary from Panoots? Great story and character lore content. I have not, actually. I don't think I've seen that. I definitely got to check that out. Pibbles, thank you for the $5 super chat, and hey, I'm happy to have you here. I appreciate that. Appreciate that you're enjoying my content and hanging out. It's pretty cool. Tempted Jester, $5 super chat. Please, Nintendo, give us another Punch-Out game. I want to beat up those funny stereotypes again. Yeah, so I wasn't planning to just make this the reading super chats stream. Actually, I kind of just got sidetracked reading you guys' messages because it's great. I love it. I love getting on here and getting to talk with you guys. But yeah, I was going to talk about, I do want to talk about some freaking Nintendo games while I'm at it, but what can I say? I'm just having a blast sitting here yapping away with you guys. SpongeBob profile guy, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to put you in timeout for a couple minutes, but I'm so sorry, but you're just spamming away, man. That's a little too much. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll get around to the real meat of the stream here at some point. But I gotta read through the rest of these super chats. There's just two more for now. So I'll try to quickly go through them and then I can get to what I was gonna yap about. Generic Russ with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I think a Switch 2 Lite model will help with the console price. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. And honestly, like I was saying earlier, honestly, the console price isn't even really the hang up for me. It's the $80 games, and I think that's the case for a lot of people. $80 games is just kind of crazy. If they were to actually have their games go on sale every freaking once in a while, that would be one thing. But this is Nintendo we're talking about, their games never go on sale for more than like $5 or $10 max. So $80 is kind of, yeah, ugh. TPHO, $2 super chat, tempted to ask if I can add you on Discord, man. I I don't really add people on Discord like that. I'm sorry. I appreciate your super chat. But, you know, unless I know you a little bit, I like to try to keep my circle kind of small on Discord. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, hanging out, watching the stream. Turbo Pikachu, $2 super chat, enjoying DKC R3D and soon to do Tropical Freeze before Bonanza. Awesome, dude. Those games are fantastic. I just picked up Returns HD recently, so that way I could play through that before Bonanza. Bonanza got me in a Donkey Kong, a Nintendo mood, you know. Excuse me, sorry. But I've been playing a bunch of Nintendo stuff lately. I actually just bought the expansion pack for the first time. I kind of thought it was overpriced whenever they first released it, but there's a lot of stuff out there now. They got a bunch of N64 games and Game Boy Advance games, and before long we'll have access to GameCube games too, so I was like, you know what, screw it. I really want to play Banjo-Kazooie. So I bought it, and I played through all of Banjo-Kazooie. I 100%ed it. Just for my own enjoyment. Sorry, there's no video on that one coming up. I might be doing a Banjo video in the near future, though. Just throwing that out there. And I might have replayed Banjo for that purpose. Just saying, just throwing it out there. But, yeah, I had a great time just playing through that. Playing through some Nintendo-y games. Okay! Alright! Now then, now that I have a moment's... let's talk about what I was gonna yap about. let's yap about what I wanted to yap about proper. So guys, there's a bunch of games that Nintendo has lined up this year. And I guess my big question going into the summer here, do we know about Nintendo's entire lineup for the rest of the year? I mean, like when you math it out, you know, when you go month to month, they probably have enough games to carry us through the end of the year. But I'm not so convinced that all the games that they have revealed so far, you know, I don't know if that's going to be it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, look, we got Mario Kart. Let me look at the calendar here, and I'll math it out for you guys, okay? So June, next month, we got Mario Kart. And the Switch 2. July is Donkey Kong. Now, beyond that, we don't really know release dates. But if we throw some dates on some of these games, it pretty much takes us up to the end of the year. I'm just going to throw some random dates out, okay? August, let's just say, is Metroid Prime 4. September, Kirby Air Riders. October, Hyrule Warriors. November, Pokemon Legends. That does leave the December slot open, but that's most of the year. And I guess I guess if Nintendo wants to make a big deal out of wheelchair basketball, maybe that's a possibility that, you know, that could be one of the monthly slots, but that feels like just kind of a tech demo-y sort of game to me. Like that doesn't feel like it's a huge deal, you know. That's not one of their big AAA, like, hey, check it out kind of games, you know. At least I don't think so. Maybe there's more to it that they haven't shown us yet, you know. Maybe there's a whole story mode and campaign where you battle giant robots and you're throwing basketballs at them, but I'm kind of thinking that's probably not the case. I don't think there's going to be anything like that, you know. So... Now, okay, let me just ask you guys before I go any further. I mean, do you guys think that is going to be our lineup for the rest of the year? Or do you think we're going to have any more surprises? Let me read some messages before I go any further. Oh, banana. Oh, yeah, Dragon Drive seems like the arms of the Switch 2. Probably won't take off. Yeah, except it's, like, not as interesting as ARMS. Because, like, ARMS at least had, you know, a pretty cool cast of characters. A really unique, colorful cast. Memorable characters. Fun personalities. But, yeah, Dragon Drive is not that. Nintendo's cocky right now. This will be our lineup for the year, but they really need one more big hitter for the holidays. I kind of am sort of thinking along the same lines as you there, that this might be their lineup for the rest of the year. But, I'll get more into that here in a bit. You think 3D Mario will be revealed in a 40th anniversary direct in September? Now that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Banana Slammer. Hello. ARMS had a great aesthetic and fantastic music. It really did. I was going to make a video about ARMS, and maybe I still will. Donkey Kong's been clogging up my video editing pipeline for the last couple of weeks. But I would like to get around to ARMS eventually, just to talk about, just to talk about it a little bit, because ARMS was such a fun, unique game, and I was actually really excited for it before they released it. And I had fun with it, but it did feel a little bit light, It felt like maybe it needed some more content to go along with it or something. It's a cool game, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just felt like it needed a little more oomph, a little more gusto. Most likely getting 2 more Switch 2 DLC either announced or released in 2025, preferably DLC for Wonder. That's a good point, because Nintendo is doing that whole, sort of DLC expansion thing for a lot of their Switch 1 games, which, I'm honestly, I'm a little bit indifferent to that at the moment, because on one hand, I think they can bring some, I don't know, what am I looking for? It can be fun to expand on some of those games, I guess, is basically what I'm trying to say. But I'm just kind of hoping that they're not gonna come at the expense of other new games. We're not really seeing that so far. I mean, we have a bunch of new games lined up for the rest of the year, right? But I guess what I'm concerned about is that we might end up with a Wii U, not a Wii U situation. That's not the proper phrasing. I guess I don't want to end up in a situation where they're building up their library with Wii U games again, basically, I don't want Switch 1 games to be the Switch 2 game library. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but I'm just a little bit I don't know. I'm looking at it with a little bit of a side eye, is Kirby in the Forgotten Land DLC going to be the only Kirby main Kirby game that we get for a couple years, just because, they're expanding on it? I don't know. Hopefully not, but anyway, that was a really not well thought out string of thought. New Wario Land would be incredible. Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% there with you. I would love to get a new Wario Land. That would be amazing. That's actually, probably... That's gotta be up there with one of my most wanted game franchises for Nintendo to bring back right now, is Wario Land. I only got into it within the last, 2 or 3 years, thanks to Pizza Tower, actually. Pizza Tower really opened my eyes to Wario Land. After I got totally absorbed and sucked into that game, I wanted to check out the Wario Land games, and, yeah, fantastic. Wario World when? Yeah, honestly, dude. Heck, even do a freaking, Wario, a new 3D Wario game. I love seeing Nintendo try new things with their franchises, and so, not that a 3D Wario game would be a new thing, but it would be the first time in, 20 years since they've done one, so, I don't know, I'd love to see them take a crack at it. Heck, a new Wario Land and a new Wario World on the Switch 2. There we go. Those are my big hopes. I'm sorry, WarioWare is cool and all, but I'm kind of sick of it. Let's cool the jets on WarioWare for a little bit, okay? We got 2 of them on the Switch. That's cool. That's cool and all. But let's move on. Let's let WarioWare rest just a little bit, okay? The land and the world need to come back. To be fair, we're supposed to get Planet Robobot for Switch. Yeah, that is true. I do remember hearing about that. And honestly, like, I mean, Kirby was probably not even a super great example because, I mean, Kirby's always getting new stuff. So, I don't know. Like, I'm just hoping that, like, my concern about the Switch 1 games is it's unfounded. I'm hoping that's just all it is, you know. World 2 would be cool. Yeah, it would. So, I guess I'll guide the conversation a little bit here. As far as a big holiday title, we don't really have anything just yet. At least nothing solidly in that holiday time frame. We can assume that Pokemon Legends is probably going to fall into that sort of holiday time frame, you know? But it's kind of a toss-up with Pokemon, because, like, sometimes that will just be Nintendo's big holiday thing for that year, but then other times, like, Nintendo also releases something from their own camp, you know, to coincide with the holiday season. And, you know, being that it's going to be their big first year with a, you know, brand new console, I would think that Nintendo would want something themselves to really rake in the holiday cash. Now, they've already got some pretty big games lined up for this year, like we talked about, you know, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime, all those games. But they're releasing pretty early in the year. I mean, Mario Kart's next month, Donkey Kong's in July, and I don't know about you guys, but, like, to tell you the truth, I don't know that Metroid Prime and Kirby Air Riders are necessarily, like, the biggest holiday games, you know. I don't know that they're gonna really necessarily be the games that are gonna drive the holiday sales going into the, you know, the holiday season this year. Maybe Nintendo is just gonna really lean on Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, you know, going into the holiday season this year. I don't know. But I feel like they would want to have another big game, you know. And I just don't know that Kirby Air Ride is going to be that game. I'm super excited for Kirby Air Ride, okay? Let it be known. I loved the original on the GameCube as a kid. I played the shit out of that game, man. But if we kind of are expecting another game in the realm of Kirby Air Ride, like the OG, I don't know that it's necessarily going to be a big enough game to carry the holidays this year. And then Hyrule Warriors is a thing too. I forgot about that, but I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to be a big holiday draw either. So I guess the question is, what else would there even be? What else could there be to carry the holidays this year? Well, I guess before I get to that, let me read the super chat from Tempted Jester, $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Let's put Only Up on the Switch 2. Yeah, let's do it. It probably cost them $2 to put it on the Switch 2, so I'll send that $2 to those fellas, and they can get on it. Thank you, my friend. I guess the thing that I'm really wondering about is, one of the things I'm really wondering about is what's going on with Mario. What's happening with Mario? It's probably too soon to be asking that question, and honestly, hey, I'm a Donkey Kong guy myself, you know. I mean, I love me some Mario, but, you know, Donkey Kong is the king. That's the king right there. So I'm okay with a 3D Mario not coming out this year, so that way it doesn't overshadow the new 3D Donkey Kong, okay? That being said, I do think a 3D Mario game is in the works. It's in the pipeline, you know. We have Doug Bowser, like, within the last week, basically saying, hey, stay tuned for Mario, you know. in some sort of, I don't know, interview or article or something like that. So Mario it's gonna happen, which is like, that's like saying water's wet. Like, yes, of course a Mario game is gonna happen eventually. They haven't just been dumping all of their resources into Donkey Kong Bonanza without anything for Mario. Mario's gonna happen. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be the holiday title for this year, though. I just, I don't think that's it. I'm gonna read some chat messages. Think it'll be a mid-lifespan for 3D Mario to give Bonanza space, but it is for sure happening. I think there's a really solid chance that 3D Mario might be a next year title. I don't think it's going to be so far after launch that, like, people are freaking out and panicking, like, oh my god, Nintendo has forgotten about Mario. Mario, it's not happening. Yay, what is my Mario? Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think next year, maybe next summer, is a solid window that we could maybe expect a Mario game. And I could see them announcing it, like, let's say, when do they usually do their spring directs? That's in like March or April, generally, right? So I could see them revealing it early next year for like the summertime, like a summertime release. It would be immediately following up the sequel to the Mario Bros. Movie, and that would be a big, like, yeah, that would just be like the best way for them to capitalize on, the marketing and success of whatever Mario movie's coming up. That's what I'm thinking for Mario. Nintendo has forgotten about Wario. Yeah. Read some messages here. Love the idea that K. Rool just says screw it and starts trying to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want for the Mario movie. They made a big deal out of Wario Land 4 coming to Switch Online, so I think they at least know there's people who love the series still. We can only hope. I'm with you there, and honestly, like, I don't think it's too unreasonable to expect a Wario Land at some point during the Switch 2 generation. It feels like an obvious candidate for one of Nintendo's sort of long-lost franchises to make a comeback. They tackled pretty much most of their major game series over the course of the Switch 1 generation. And Wario was one of the obvious, standouts who got left out of the mix. Same with Donkey Kong. I need a sip of water, because I've been yapping. Anyway, so 3D Mario, I think it's a possibility for next year. I don't necessarily think it's going to be their big holiday title this year, however. Here is a big candidate and a team from Nintendo who I'm keeping a close eye on right now. And that's the Splatoon team. It's been like, what, almost 3 years since Splatoon 3? I personally, I would not be that excited to see a new Splatoon game so soon. I think that series could maybe use just a little bit of a rest. They dropped 2 brand new games for it on the Switch. Like, okay, it's Splatoon 4 is going to happen eventually. There's no doubt about it. But I really kind of hope that they're getting on another Animal Crossing first. It's the same team. The Splatoon team, they do Animal Crossing games. That's what I'm hoping for. I think, like, it's been, 5 years now since New Horizons? I really liked New Horizons, but, like, they did that thing that they liked to do over the course of the Switch 1 generation, where they would launch a game and it's kind of light. It's light on content, and then they sort of fill it out over the coming like months after the fact. They release some free updates, and that's cool and all for like, I guess, getting you back into a game potentially, but like the content that they would add generally didn't. It wasn't like substantial enough to me, at least, that like I was like, oh my god, I gotta get on and play this new freaking update like right now, you know. And so, like, some of the updates that they added to New Horizons, I actually never even touched them. I never even played them. I think they would have been nice just to have in the base game, just to add a little more meat to it, you know. So I'm kind of hoping that if they do another Animal Crossing, that it is a little more of like a complete feeling package by the time it's ready to launch. And I don't know. I mean, do you guys think that there's any possibility that there might be a new Animal Crossing by the end of this year? We're probably coming up on a big summer Nintendo Direct. They usually like to do those in like June. And honestly, it would make sense to do one like mid-June, after the Switch 2 is out, after Mario Kart and the Switch 2 have had a little bit of breathing room. Then they can start to promote Donkey Kong, which is going to be their next big game after Mario Kart. And I'm sure they'll have like a new trailer ready to go sometime like mid to late June. Maybe with a Nintendo Direct. And then, of course, they're going to have to give us some release dates for some other games. So, you know, Metroid Prime, Kirby, Hyrule Warriors, all those games. And I don't think they're just going to do, like, a release date direct where they're just dropping release dates for these games and new trailers and stuff. They're probably going to announce at least one or two new games, too, I would imagine, right? So, yeah, that's my question that I'm posing to you guys. Do you think Animal Crossing might be one of those games going into the latter half of this year? I don't know if I necessarily expect it. It feels like that feels like a really big, like, bombshell kind of game now, especially after New Horizons and the runaway success that game was. So I'm not sure that that's going to necessarily be what comes out this holiday. But 100 Octogenius is saying 100% will not be an Animal Crossing this year. So there it is. That is the law of the land right there. You don't feel like Animal Crossing is this year. Like you said, they're sticking with their current schedule that they know because they're cocky. However, it is almost definitely next year or the year after. I know because I'm a genius. Yeah, yes you are. It's right there. It says right there in your name. Yeah, I think at the very least, like, something from that team is going to be happening within the next year and a half, you know. By the end of next year, I think we're going to know what the Splatoon/Animal Crossing team is working on. If it's another Splatoon, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to probably pass. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess, okay. There is a possibility that it could re-up my interest. It's just the fact that, like, Splatoon 2 and 3 felt like such small incremental sequels. Like, they didn't really add anything substantial that, like, just completely changed up the gameplay experience. They were largely the same games, which, I mean, that's, you know, it has a solid gameplay loop. They're fun games. It's just the fact that, like, I don't know, I'm kind of like, They're releasing so close to each other now, like just a couple years apart, that I'm kind of a little bit like, I don't know. Let's give Splatoon just a little bit of a break. If they're going to bring it back and they're just going to do more Splatoon, like, okay, that's fine. But give it a little bit of a break. I think they ought to work on Animal Crossing. Or heck, you know what? It would be even cooler if they just hit us with like a big surprise, something that we're not even expecting. That's kind of what I'm hoping for more of over the course of the Switch 2 generation, is some more games that we just are not expecting. They're just going to catch us off guard. That's what I'm looking for. Stuff like Kirby Air Ride. I never thought Kirby Air Ride was going to come back ever again. I thought that series was going to be left to the GameCube, and that was the last we would hear of it. But nope, here we are, 2025, the year of the Lord and Savior. Kirby Air Riders. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I kind of forgot how I got here. What was I yapping about? See, that's the fun part about me getting on here and yapping. I can't even keep track of my own yap. You feel like the Splatoon sequels are a relic of Nintendo's understanding of live service games. Should have been major updates, one continuous experience. Numbering them makes each feel smaller. I definitely agree with that. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about like Nintendo and the updates thing that they did over the course of the Switch 1. The updates were not really meaty enough that they, that they would like reinvigorate my interest or anything like that. But they would have been nice to supplement the base game, at least, add a little more meat to them before they got started. So I am kind of hoping that Nintendo leaves that whole strategy to the wayside going into the Switch 2. I just kind of want meatier games at launch, and then if they want to do free updates, or heck, I might get a little bit of flack for this, some paid DLC, then, at least give us a solid, fat, meaty base game to go along with it. Not that all of them need to be like these big 60-plus hour, 100-plus hour experiences or anything like that. That's not necessarily what I'm asking for. It's just, if you look at something like Mario Golf or Mario Strikers, those games were pretty light out the gate, and they didn't really do much to change them up too much with the additions, so. But anyway, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, yeah. I think one of those might be coming before the end of next year. But here's the one that I've been saving. I've been saving this savory little nugget for right at this very moment. There's a game studio that Nintendo has on their hands now who I've had my eyes on. I've got my eyeballs linked directly up with theirs. They're looking at me. They're terrified. They're asking, what am I going to do to them? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here and I'm going to watch you. This is getting kind of creepy. What the heck is Next Level Games up to? What is going on with Next Level Games, okay? Mario Strikers was the last game that they worked on, and that it kind of felt like a side project. I didn't personally buy it, okay? But I saw how light that game was on content. It looked fine enough from a presentation standpoint. The animations were wonderful. Next Level Games always knocks it out of the park with their animations, okay? But that didn't feel like it would have been like their next big thing, especially because I think it was after Luigi's Mansion 3 came out, right? I think that's when Nintendo acquired them. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's when that happened. So you would think that Nintendo probably would give them the time and the budget to crank out something really, really substantial. Mario Strikers wasn't that. Do you guys think there's any chance at all that the big holiday Nintendo game this year is going to be a new Luigi's Mansion game? I am kind of thinking. I'm kind of thinking about it. It's Dave, Luigi's Mansion 4, baby! Luigi's Mansion is always like my go-to whenever I'm being a nitpicky prick to Nintendo, because I'm like, you know, I want some games that are gonna surprise me. I want some games that are gonna like make me step back and go like, whoa, they're bringing that back? Oh, that's crazy. That's cool. Not that every game needs to be that. Not that every game needs to be that from Nintendo, you know. But Luigi's Mansion is one of those ones where I'm like, I feel like that is just going down the checklist of games that we would expect, you know. I'm fully anticipating that Next Level Games is probably working on another Luigi's Mansion game. Is it going to be cool? Hey, maybe. Maybe it'll even be a really great game, you know. But it's just going to be like, oh, hey, there it is. There's Luigi's Mansion 4. That's pretty cool. Maybe you guys feel differently. I don't know. Me personally, and, you know. I like Luigi's Mansion. I like Luigi's Mansion. I like that series, you know. The first game was one of those ones that I had on the GameCube as a kid. And, yeah, I loved the atmosphere of that game. It was very fun. Luigi's Mansion 2, yeah, I'm a little bit indifferent to, but I thought Luigi's Mansion 3 was also a really great game. It still didn't really capture the kind of like atmosphere and tone that I personally really enjoyed from the first Luigi's Mansion game, but it was still a really good game in its own right. Like, I can judge it based on its own merits in a vacuum outside of the original Luigi's Mansion game, you know, away from that. And I think it's a really solid game. But, yeah, it wasn't, it's still not necessarily like what I would personally want to see more of from that series. It's not the direction that I'm a fan of, I guess. I would love to see them try to go back and recapture sort of the original atmosphere of Luigi's Mansion 1. That would be cool. So I don't know. I mean, what are you guys thinking? Do you think that there's any chance Luigi's Mansion is the big holiday game for this year? Honestly, if out of all the games that I've just talked about up to this point, I feel like Luigi's Mansion is the one that like I would be willing to put money down on, you know. Yeah, in a vacuum. That wasn't I mean, yes, that was intentional. I'm such a clever guy. Ha ha ha. Mansion 1 definitely had more of a creepy vibe, which I liked. Yeah. Yeah, same here. I also love the, like, I don't know how to put it, like, ploppy, the ploppy soundtrack, the bloopy soundtrack. That's probably more accurate. You guys know what I'm talking about, I'm assuming. Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 felt more like I was playing Pixar movies than I was playing a Luigi's Mansion game. And again, that's not even necessarily, that's not like me knocking those games either. That's not a knock against them. They're very well executed, very, oh, thank you.
You are welcome.
Oh, my wife brought me spaghetti.
There's more garlic bread. That's the rest of that spaghetti, but if you want more, let me know.
Cool. Now I get to sit here and smack my lips and eat spaghetti for you guys. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, they're great games. But yeah, they definitely don't feel as like Luigi's Mansion 1 as I would like. Tempted Jester! Thank you! Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Thank you once again. You're so generous tonight. Since Nintendo is bringing back DK, maybe they can do the same for other franchises like F-Zero, Star Fox, Punch-Out. I would love to see all three of those come back. F-Zero isn't really one that I feel needs all that much updating. Just make a new F-Zero game. A modern F-Zero game with online, and boom, there you go. I think that would be... That's all the more that needs to be done. Star Fox, on the other hand, I think that I kind of feel like the hang on a sec. I need to click around here for a second. What is going on? What is happening? Okay, never mind. Nothing's really happening. I'm just, I don't know, schizo-pilled tonight or something. Star Fox, I like Star Fox a lot, and like, it's great as sort of this arcadey, shooty kind of game. But I don't think it lends itself super spectacularly to like big budget console standouts these days. You can look at Star Fox Zero and it kind of I feel like Star Fox just needs a little bit of a rework. I feel like there needs to be a different way to approach a new Star Fox game or something. Or, okay, Viper Violet brings up a good point there, too. They feel like a new Star Fox game can still work, but they shouldn't charge premium price for it. That I can agree with. That makes sense. If they wanted to continue with sort of the on-rails, arcadey, Star Fox sort of style, that's one thing. If they price it appropriately, but... Well, Nintendo has variable pricing now, according to Doug Bowser and just Nintendo themselves, and, well, that's not... It should go both ways, right? Like, games that are smaller in scope should be priced accordingly, but that's not how it's going to work. We're looking at, like, $50 to $60 games for games that should be 30 to 40 now. Give me a second. I'm gonna munch. I'm gonna take a bite of some garlic bread because it's gonna be so yummy. It smells so delicious sitting right here in front of me, taunting me. That's some good garlic bread. So yeah, sure. If you price Star Fox in that $30 to $40 range, that'd be one thing. I just don't think I trust Nintendo to do that right now. They're trying to ask $80 for Mario Kart, you guys. You don't think they're going to try to get as much as they can for a new Star Fox game? I don't know. That's just me. What was the other one? There was another one you brought up too. Punch-Out! Oh, that's another one. Well, heck, that's right. Next Level Games, they worked on that Punch-Out Wii game, right? Like, that was the one that they did. So, I don't know. See, that would be one that I would be like, oh, yo, hell yeah, new Punch-Out, I would get pretty excited over that, probably over a new Luigi's Mansion. But again, like, I don't necessarily know that I expect it. I think Luigi's Mansion probably makes sense as Next Level Games' next game. Luigi's Mansion 3 was a huge success for them. Like, I think it sold like 15 million copies or something crazy like that. Nick All-Star Brawl 3? Probably never gonna happen? Yeah, you're probably right. I'd be down for it. That probably ain't gonna happen, though. Sorry, I'm munching. Give me just a moment. We got a pretty cool crowd in here tonight. That's pretty cool. I appreciate you guys being here and just hanging out and yapping with me. Tippy-typing away. Listen to me blab about Nintendo. So yeah, I don't know. If anything, like I'd said, out of all those games, I think Next Level Games is potentially the most likely to have another game to release this year. But I don't know. Though. I guess we can all agree that it's too soon for Zelda. Am I right? Definitely too soon for that. We have Hyrule Warriors, which I guess is going to be the Zelda fill for this year. Zelda is an annual franchise now. They release a new one every single year. So, we just got a new top-down one last year. So even that's probably a little ways off if they're going to do another one of those. There have been rumors for a while that they're going to do an Ocarina of Time remake. Which is something. I guess that, I mean, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to that. I like Ocarina of Time. I wouldn't mind playing it in a new, big, shiny HD way. That'd be cool. We're actually in a serious Zelda drought. Roughly a few months. We're due for one. Well, you're in luck, my friend. Hyrule Warriors is between now and the end of the year, so you're gonna be set. I'm good. I'm good on Zelda. Like, I like Zelda, but I don't know. I keep my eyes out for like the big titles. But yeah, a lot of these spin-offs and remakes and stuff, like, kind of indifferent to most of it. And Hyrule Warriors, like, I'm sorry, I'm over Hyrule Warriors. Especially with this Breath of the Wild timeline, like, I'm over it. I'm over Breath of the Wild. I'm over that whole aesthetic. I'm ready for a whole new chapter. But Hyrule Warriors, but it's Nickelodeon. Now that's an interesting thought. Could be an interesting little, funny little thing. Sorry, I'm trying to eat at the same time. Trying not to smack my lips for you guys, but I'm a hungry little fella. So I gotta eat. Eating some spaghetti. I'm sure we'll probably get... Well, I don't know. When did Tears of the Kingdom release? That was a couple years ago. Was that 2023? 2022, maybe? I don't know, I forget. Oh, 2023, okay. So, it's been 2 years. We probably have bare minimum 2 more years to go until we hear something new from that team, that Zelda team. But it might even be longer than that. Although they also have a tendency to announce Zelda games really far in advance. That's just what they do with Zelda. So maybe they'll throw us some breadcrumbs for whatever's gonna happen with Zelda next, you know, within the near future, and then it'll be 5 years until it actually releases. I don't know. Eddie Studios, $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Mr. Monkey. Today's been emotionally exhausting for me. So thanks for streaming so I can relax to a goofy dude like you. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you've had an emotionally exhausting day, my friend. I hope things can chill out for you a little bit this evening. Hopefully, hopefully you can just chill, hang out here with us in the chat. We're just talking Nintendo, you know. Excuse me. Everybody pour one out for Eddie Studios. Type some, send some, hang on. What are they? To all my channel members, send some Smoochy Pepino emotes in the chat forum. Twilight Princess 2, my soul is indebted to Miyamoto's left pocket. There we go. Yeah. Sequel to DK Bonanza. Yeah, that's going to be the holiday title this year. They're doing DK Bonanza and a sequel. A couple months apart. You know, if we just got a third Donkey Kong game, that would fill out the whole trifecta for the year, you know? They wouldn't even need to release any other Switch 2 games. They just released their 3 biggest ones. Well, 3, I say. Returns HD is on the Switch 1. You get what I'm saying. You know. I'm trying to make a joke. It's not landing. Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is gonna happen this year. That's right. Okay. What do you think of the rare DK erasure? I don't think they're trying to erase DK at all. Or Rare's DK. I know a lot of fans are concerned about the change in art style. Or not even art style, just the design change for DK. But I think that's really just to update him. He's had the same Rare design for 30 years now, you know? And I love that design, and I always will love Rare's DK. It's the one that, I hold that one very close. But I think it just makes sense that it was time to update it. And if anything, Bonanza has given us so much more in the way of Rareware than we have seen literally since the Super Nintendo. So, a change of design, yes, but it seems like Nintendo is finally open and ready to embrace the history of Donkey Kong, which is great. Because it's been so long. I gotta eat another piece of garlic bread. Give me a second. Nom nom. I saw somebody say something about my pizza tower art or something. I missed it. Where is it? By the way, is your channel... There it is. Channel art style inspired by Pizza Tower? Yes. Yes, it is. My good pal, Brandtendo, does my channel art. I think I saw him in the chat earlier. If you're there, Brando, promote yourself. Ow! Don't make me think they will make another Banjo-Kazooie. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I'm actually making a whole video about it. Oops. Spilt the beans on that. But, yeah, I want to talk about that. I think Banjo's going to happen eventually. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. But, here's an interesting idea. Diddy Kong Racing. That's it. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. No, I'm kidding. I think it's interesting that out of all the Rare games that we have on the NSO, there's a ton of N64 Rare games that are strictly owned by Rare. Stuff like Blast Corps, Jet Force Gemini, all those fun games. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. But we didn't have DK64. DK64 still hasn't landed on the service. And now suddenly we have Donkey Kong Bonanza coming up. Interesting. You know what else we don't have on that service? We don't got Diddy Kong Racing. Microsoft and Nintendo are awful chummy these days. I don't know. This is like tinfoil hat territory and all that, but I'm just saying. Brand new Diddy Kong Racing, that would be very, very cool. I would love it very much. Viper Violet with the $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't fully planning on getting Donkey Kong Bonanza until you and others made these insane K. Rool theories, and now I pre-ordered the damn game. Thank you so much. That's awesome to hear. I mean, I'm just super excited. I'm just excited that I get to share my excitement with the internet, and people actually want to hear what I have to say about it. Because I've been making Donkey Kong content for years now, you know? And, of course, Donkey Kong hasn't really been a super relevant topic of discussion, so, never got, like, a ton of traction on those videos, but it's awesome that right now I get to just sit here and talk about Donkey Kong, and it's something relevant that people want to hear more about, so, I don't know, it's cool. And I've gotten to interact with just, like, some really cool members of the DK community as a result, too, you know? Skips, our crazy DK detective, just combing over every piece of everything. Seeing new creators sprout up, like the Kong Compendium. If you guys aren't subscribed to the Kong Compendium, go subscribe to them because they make some really awesome Donkey Kong content. Yeah, just, I don't know, it's just super cool. It's just super cool. I love Donkey Kong. I'm glad that we're getting a new one. I'm gonna take another bite of spaghetti and let you guys marinate on that for a moment. That is some spaghetti. I see lots of hearts, and I should probably make sure I've eaten my food before I start yapping, because I almost started to die. But that's okay. Saw a bunch of hearts and hundreds popping up on the emote thingy there. That's pretty cool. Much love to all y'all. Another bite of sketty on the way. I'm trying to get through the rest of it as quick as I can, so then I don't have to focus on eating spaghetti anymore. But it's good. Uncle Al in real life. Spaghetti. Spaghetti ASMR. Oh, geez. We're turning this stream into a whole different thing. No meatballs. I love me some meatballs, but I don't have any with this bowl.
Do you want the rest of my spaghetti?
Oh, Lord. The wife don't want the rest of her spaghetti. So I guess I'm sitting here and getting some more spaghetti. Dump it in. Oh, God, it's like it never went away.
Thank you.
I went from having a full bowl to almost empty. Now I'm back up. My spaghetti stocks are up.
I have one more piece of garlic bread. Do you want it?
Oh, Lord.
I'll eat it if you don't want it.
It's all yours.
Okay.
Whew! You know you're an hour late, but you don't care. You should care. Because now you're here. Hello, welcome to the stream. Glad you were able to make it. We have a pretty big crowd today. I'm glad that there's so many people out there who just want to hear me yap. It's fun. I like getting on here and just yapping about games. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is yap about games. So I appreciate that we have such a fun crowd tonight. So, here's another fun topic. I don't think Smash Brothers is happening anytime soon. All the more confirmed by the fact that Masahiro Sakurai is working on Kirby Air Ride instead. What do you guys think they're gonna do with Smash? What do you think? What you thinking? Because here's what I'm thinking. I kind of get the feeling that Smash Ultimate is it for Smash for the foreseeable future. I think they're probably just gonna do like another character pack for Smash Ultimate. I mean, as much as I want to see Smash kind of just get like a full reboot, essentially, I want to see old characters like the N64 cast get new and updated movesets to match more recent games in their franchises, you know? I want to see the roster shaved down a little bit. I want to see them experiment with some new cool mechanics. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen on the Switch 2. I think more than likely they're going to do another expansion pack. Maybe they'll do like a sizable expansion even. I don't know. Sakurai is a crazy guy. Maybe they'll push it to the next level and give us a story campaign DLC or something. Do I think that's likely? No. I think more than likely we'll probably get like another Fighter's Pass or two or something. Add in some long-wanted characters that still aren't there, you know, make Waluigi in the game. Geno is relevant again with Super Mario RPG, so could totally see them adding Geno or something. 2 more Mario characters, you know. Bonanza is going to be a thing before long. Sure, Donkey Kong characters will be relevant again. Maybe they could add in a new DK character. I think Cranky Kong would be great. What you guys thinking? While you guys are thinking and typing away, I'm going to eat some more spaghetti. Not spaghetti, not SpaghettiOs. His new design for sure is going to be in the new game. Whose design? Who are we talking about? I'm almost done. I'm almost done with spaghetti. And then I can go back to full-time yap. Okay. Spaghetti complete. All completed on spaghetti. Let me take a little sip of some water to wash it all down. Wonderful. Amazing. You actually hear my squeaky ass chair too, I'm assuming. Listen to this sucker. That's one squeaky ass chair. Whew. What? What's a game series you want to see brought back for the Switch 2? DK was at the top of my list. And I am hoping that we get at least 1 or 2 more Donkey Kong games on the Switch 2 over the course of its life. Whether that's in the form of spin-offs or, excuse me, another 2D game. I think it would be awesome to see Retro Studios work on a new Donkey Kong Country. I don't know if they will, but it'd be cool. I could see them moving on to that after Metroid Prime 4. But aside from Donkey Kong, I would have to say Wario Land is probably at the top of my interests for, like, a series that hasn't gotten an entry in a good long while that I want to see come back. Because those games are great. I think I've played them all now except for the Virtual Boy, the Virtual Boy, Wario Land, and Wario Land Shake It. Which I would love to play Wario Land Shake It, because that game looks gorgeous. The art, the animation, like, that game just looks phenomenal, you know? I'm also biased, because I'm a Pizza Tower addict. I love me some Pizza Tower. So, I'm definitely down to see a new Wario Land. You know what would be super fucking cool, but it's probably not going to happen? I would love to see the Pizza Tower guys just make a Wario Land game. How amazing would that be if Nintendo just hit them up like, hey guys, can you guys make a Wario for us? We don't know what we're doing anymore. We forgot how to make Wario, okay? And they're like, yes. McPig is like, yes, I will do it. I will do it for you, Nintendo. I will be your savior. I think it's honestly more likely than not that a new Wario Land will hit the Switch 2. I think it's gonna happen. There's like I said earlier, Nintendo has already tackled so many of their, like, biggest franchises on the Switch 1. And Wario is one of those games that still feels like it's in the realm of possibility that, like, Nintendo would make a new one someday. And it just feels like the time is right. It feels like, yeah, Wario is due for one. Let's make it happen. Kind of curious, what franchise do y'all not want to see return? Or at the very least would be extremely indifferent on it returning? I think I've already said my pieces on those. Splatoon 4. If Splatoon 4 gets revealed in the next Nintendo Direct, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's Splatoon 4, alright. And same goes for Luigi's Mansion, probably. I'm sorry. I'm always digging at Luigi's Mansion. And I'm always going to mention that I dig at Luigi's Mansion when I mention Luigi's Mansion. I like Luigi's Mansion a lot, don't get me wrong. It's just the most, like... It is the most, like, I'm fully expecting it game. So, when they reveal it, I'm going to be like, hey, Luigi, there he is. There he is over there. Unless they really change it up, you know? What if they did, like, Luigi's Mansion, but it's, like, an over-the-shoulder Resident Evil styled thing? Now, that would be an interesting change of pace for Luigi's Mansion, okay? That might pique my interest. I'll be like, hey, well, now that's something new going on over there. But other than that, you know, I'll be, and like, look, I can't even say that, like, I would be thoroughly disappointed if Luigi's Mansion got revealed, because I would probably be interested in picking it up, even. I'll be like, yeah, it's Luigi's Mansion, but I guess I'll pick it up. Couple of you guys out there on board with that idea. Resident Luigi. What's I know we're kind of talking about first party Nintendo stuff here, and of course, like, we're all big Nintendo fellas here, I'm assuming. But as far as third party stuff goes, I kind of had I had a little bit of a monkey's paw situation happen during that Switch 2 presentation, because I am a huge FromSoftware guy. I love the Souls games, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne. They're all phenomenal games. They're like some of my favorites. They're up there, man. Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong's like one of my favorites. Dark Souls is up on that same level. It's on that same platform. They're duking it out with each other, Donkey Kong and Dark Souls? Ooh. I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one I love more. Anyway, I thought it would be the coolest thing ever if Nintendo partnered up with FromSoft to do like a big exclusive game? An exclusive game for Nintendo. And they did. We're getting that, what's it called? The Dusk Bloods. That's what it was called. And I was so excited for that at first, because it looked like it was going to be like basically a spiritual successor to Bloodborne. And Bloodborne is phenomenal. And Sony won't do anything with it. Sony is not doing shit with Bloodborne. They are dropping that ball so hard, man. But I was a little bit disappointed to find out that the Dusk Bloods is really just kind of a PvP sort of game. It's not really so much the super, like, action RPG sort of deal that I like from the FromSoft games. So that makes 2 in a row now, because I was not impressed. I was not super impressed with the Elden Ring Night Rain game. I got to play the early playtest for it, and it's alright. But it's not really why I like those games. And it kind of seems like it's probably going to be a similar deal with the Dusk Bloods. I'm going to shift my ass around here for a second. Ooh. Sorry for the squeakiness. The chair squeakiness. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just a squeaky ass chair. That's just what I got. Is what I got. Oh, mama. Nintendo should partner with Studio MDHR for an eShop novelty title of the Donkey Kong arcade trilogy, remade in the style of old Popeye cartoons. That is a really fascinating idea. I feel like, though, their games take so long to produce just because of how painstaking they are with the animation, that I don't know that something like that would ever happen. It seems like they're pretty happy doing their own thing. I just saw that they're hiring, within the last couple of days, they revealed they're hiring, Oh. So a new Cuphead would be awesome. Who would you trust to make a new Banjo-Kazooie? Playtonic Games. That's one of the big ones. I think they should be the ones to do it if anybody's going to do it. But if they can't get those guys, if they can't get Playtonic Games, or Playtonic Games just isn't interested, then Toys for Bob, I think, would be a pretty good fit. And they've expressed interest in wanting to tackle something like that. I know a lot of people were mixed on Crash 4, but I loved Crash 4. I mean, I was never a huge Crash guy before Crash 4. But Crash 4, pretty much turned me on to the series as a whole. Like, while I was in the middle of my Crash 4 playthrough, I went back and played the Reignited trilogy. Is that what it was called? No, that's Spyro, right? What the fuck was it called? The Insane trilogy? That's what it was. Yeah, I went back and played through all of those games and 100% of them in the process before I returned to Crash 4 to finish that. I love Crash now. I'm a Crash stan, okay? I'll stand for my boy Crash. So, I think Toys for Bob would be a good fit for Banjo. Crash 4 turned him on. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Came back to hear you talking about Peak. Well, yeah, of course. Crash 4 is a fantastic game. Yeah, 100%ing it is pure crap. That I agree. I attempted the challenge of 100%ing that game. I did not get all the way through it. I got everything in the game except for the time trials. I got the whatever it is, the top relic. I forget. Is it the platinum relic? I think. On like maybe 3 levels. And I was already so burnt on the game at that point. I said, you know what? I'm close enough. My hands aren't fast enough to handle the crazy shit that you have to deal with for the time trials of Crash 4. I just can't do it. And the levels are so fucking long, dude. So, one fuck up means having to do it all over. And yeah. I'm good. It's the same way for me with like DK64. It's a great game. I personally hold that DK64 is a great game. It's just trying to 100% that game, like, forget it, dude. Just play through it, do the minimum requirements, and just enjoy the ride. Don't worry about 100%ing DK64. I could say the same thing about Crash 4. 2 of your friends have fully completed Crash 4 like over 4 times. Dude. That's insane. Like, I don't even know how you do it once. I was so like spent by the time I got to the time trials with Crash 4 that I was like, ugh. Blech. Pass. Uncle Al, have you heard about Earthworm Jim? Yes. I think I played the second one. I think I have it on the Super Nintendo. I didn't play it as a kid or anything, but I got it like years after the fact. Hang on a second. I need to scroll up for a second. Okay. They said it got more fun and easier the more you do it. Medium dire variant. Can't be asked. Yeah. No, I feel that. I mean, I'm sure it probably is that way. The more you play something, the better you get at it, the easier it'll become. But, like, oh my god, dude. Trying to 100% that game is, like, that's a real test of endurance. What are your thoughts on Pluck? I've never played it. I'm aware of it, but I've never played it. Badass boy with the $1.49 super chat. I think that's like, what is that, a super sticker? I think, right? Hey, I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to work my way up. See if we can get to that $200 goal tonight, That's a fun little goal there. There's not really anything particular about it. I'm just, trying to get the revenue up a little bit on the channel this month. But I appreciate that. Have you played Anton Blast? I did, and I liked it. I can say that about it. I'm definitely much, much more into Pizza Tower than I am Anton Blast. I'll say that. When I started Anton Blast, I was not crazy about it at all. I didn't even think I was going to finish it. But I finally, like, ponied up and I said, like, okay, I want to finish this game. Because I love the art style. You know, I like the characters. I really like the Wario Land games. But, yeah, I was just not crazy about Anton Blast at first. And, like, I still have my problems with it. I think the levels are way too freaking long. And I hate this thing that it does. Where if you want to go in and you're trying to get all the secrets in that game, they make it so certain, like, secrets and collectibles, you only have one chance to do it. You have to do it perfectly. And if you fuck it up, you have to replay the entire level to try it again. And I hate that. I hate that so much. As a guy who likes to complete his games, I was annoyed and frustrated trying to gather things in Anton Blast, and so I just opted to play it to the end. I wanted to, like, see the ending. I wanted to play it, you know, I wanted to see the credits roll and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, trying to get all the collectibles in that one is a no-go for me. I liked it, though. I did like Anton Blast. It just, it had some problems, I would say. Did you try that DK64 Tag Anywhere mod that rebalances the pacing of the game so it's less tedious? I have not. I have definitely not. But I think that if I ever do revisit DK64, that's probably how I would do it. Because, yeah, like, trying to do it the vanilla way, like, ooh, DK64 is, yeah, at least trying to 100% that game. That's another game where it's like, you'll probably have a better time if you just play it start to finish. You gather, like, the minimum requirement of the collectibles that you would have fun gathering, you know? But, yeah, trying to push yourself to do the whole thing is just too much. I see people talk about a follow-up to Sunshine. Yeah. That, I want that too. That would be super amazing. Sunshine, I think, is probably still my favorite Mario, if only for the atmosphere of the game. I love just the tropical vacation vibe that that game gives. That's where I just want to live. That's where I just want to live, like, at all times. And getting, like, a follow-up or a proper remake of 64, I think we're due for it, to be honest. Did I say 64? I meant Sunshine. We're due for a Sunshine remake, in my opinion. We got 64 DS. Let's remake Sunshine. Iron out the the rough patches. And yeah, I mean, can you imagine just how gorgeous that game has the potential to look on the Switch 2 in a full-on remake? Bruh. Dude, you should absolutely check out Sunshine Eclipsed if you haven't. It's a very good mod. I've been meaning to get around to that. I was actually going to play it last year on stream, and I just never got around to it. I'll have to play it eventually. Be any chance you stream other PlayStation games like Sly Cooper? It's a possibility. Never say never. A Sunshine remake that goes all in on the painterly art style with modern rendering pipelines could be a marvel. I agree. I seriously think it could be just a beautiful looking game. Could be so beautiful. So beautiful. Keyshawn Farr with the $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. New Mario and Sonic game, but in what genre? Oh, mamma mia. I think it would be awesome to have... I know it's so obvious. It's such an obvious thing to say, but like, Mario and Sonic should just get a platformer game together. I don't necessarily know what they could do to make it really stand out, which is probably why it's never happened. But Mario and Sonic totally should team up in some sort of action-adventure platformer type thing, if it were to ever happen again. But I feel like they're kind of just on two totally different planes of existence these days, you know? Like, Sonic is getting better, you know? Don't get me wrong. I thought Shadow Generations was fantastic. Frontiers was pretty alright. It was a pretty good, pretty decent 7 out of 10 game, I would say. Not bad. But you know how it is with Mario. I mean, Mario usually knocks it out of the park. Sonic, what's it called? Sonic Superstars? Yeah, that one was okay. It was alright. It's probably another like 7 out of 10, I would say. I didn't actually play through the whole thing, but based on what I played, it was like, Imagine Bowser with the Chaos Emeralds? Now that's an interesting thought. Cody! Hey, what's up, Cody? Sunshine should get a sequel more than a remake. That'd be cooler. I mean, I'm with you there. I would be totally down for a sequel or a remake, honestly. I could go either way. Regardless, I would want to see it. You know, somebody brought up a really good point to me recently that like 90s and 2000s nostalgia is like the big thing right now. You know, that is what is in right now. And like just based on what we have going into the Switch 2 generation so far, it kind of seems like maybe they're going to be leaning into that just a little bit, Nintendo, you know. Donkey Kong Bonanza. We have all these references and nods to kind of the 90s era, Donkey Kong Country, Rareware era of Donkey Kong. Kirby Air Ride, classic GameCube game, and they're making a sequel to that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, maybe Sunshine isn't too crazy of a thing to think about after all, you know? Sonic Rabbids crossover? Oh, jeez. I wasn't crazy. That is by far the weirdest thing that Nintendo has done in the last, like, 10 years. Mario plus Rabbids. I know it was a Ubisoft-developed game, but it's just so... Like, what the fuck? If you had told... I would have never believed it. I just would have never believed it if I had heard it was in development, which I did, and I didn't believe it until I saw it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Too bad millennials can't afford to buy all these 90s style games. Well, yes and no. I think we're like, you know, I'm like on the very tail end of the millennials, I think. And I'm somewhere constantly between having enough money for games and having no money at all, so that's probably the case for a lot of other millennials too, I would imagine. So maybe we'll get lucky and we'll at least be graced with this final generation of nostalgia milking before the generations after us can't afford to buy nostalgic items anymore. A remake of Pac-Man World 2. Pac-Man, the Twitter account was promoting like an anniversary celebration thing, and they showed a little snippet from what looked like it could have been a remake of Pac-Man World 2, so that might not be too far off, honestly. Keyshawn saying, what the fuck? It was good and the sequel was better. Are we talking about Rabbids? I think that's what we're talking about, right? I didn't mind the games. It's just more like what the fuck? Why do these exist kind of thing. I only played through the first one. I actually didn't finish it, but I thought it was alright. I didn't play the second one, though. Wario World remastered. That's one case where I would say I would probably just want a new Wario World, like, over a remaster. You know, I would want to just see like a whole brand new 3D Wario game. We're gonna get a new WarioWare before any actual Wario Land game because of the mouse controls. I mean, that would make sense. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they did another WarioWare, but I think they need to give that series a break. You know, we got 2 of them on the Switch. I think it's time to bring back platformer Wario, you know? That's what I want to see. Since you're a fan of Dragon Ball, today is Piccolo Day. Happy Piccolo Day, everybody. I saw that the final 2 episodes of Daima, the English version, are going to be dropping soon. That's pretty cool. Whoever illustrates for your channel can replicate the pizza art style really well. Yeah, he does. Brandtendo, he is a genius when it comes to making art. He's so good at it. Now you're good, Keyshawn. Al, if I made a Donkey Kong Country Show drinking game, would you do it with me? Once upon a time, I would have said yes. But I don't drink so much these days. I did a lot of that in my early 20s. Now my body doesn't bounce back quite as well as it used to when it comes to drinking. I think my drinking days, they're behind me. Treasure did confirm they're working on a new game. No hint as to what, though. They are the Wario World devs. I remembered hearing that. A while ago. And I can't remember if... Did it not get revealed yet? Because I thought maybe it did. But... I don't know. I can't remember. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if they're doing Wario. Bring a new Wario to the Switch too. Hey Al, hey Hibby Sloth. Can you draw? I cannot. I can only kind of draw. But it's nothing good. You would be like, whoa, hey. How cool is that? Let's put that on the fridge. Yeah. So proud of you. You did such a great job. We're going to hear more about your game you're working on anytime soon? Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Unfortunately, not. It's on ice for now. I am hoping to be able to revisit it someday. I made a huge error in judgment by talking about it publicly as soon as I did. I definitely should not have done that, so. Oops. It is a learning experience, though. Next time, if I ever get back around to it, which I definitely want to, it's gonna be... I'm gonna make sure all my ducks are in a row first. Let's put it that way. Bold of you to assume I have a fridge. Yeah. I inherited a fridge, so That's really the only reason I have one. You had fun drawing my frogs when you announced it. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. You did such an awesome job on those. Man, I really want to be able to do something with those guys again. I just, yeah, it just wasn't the right time for it, unfortunately. Someday, when I'm maybe more successful, wishful thinking there. I hope to be able to revisit it. The Everybody 1-2 games should have never existed because they already had WarioWare for that. But the fact that they did make a second micro game brand makes me think they want Wario back on platform. Yeah, the 1-2 games are weird. Like, they would have been... At the very least, the first one totally should have been like a bundle game for the Switch. But it was not. Then the second one kind of just came and went, and nobody acknowledged it. We just don't pretend that exists. I need to shift myself around again. I'm gonna get into a comfier position here because my ass, I'm not comfortable. Let's hold the mic. Let's hold it in my funny little lap here. Hello, everybody. How does it feel to sit in the lap of Unk Monk? Your advice would be to announce the game when it's halfway completed. That's probably the way to do it. There's probably a good chance that if I ever get back around to it, too, things will definitely change. Not that I revealed much about it anyway. We had, you know, a little bit of progress on the actual project itself, but yeah, things would probably be different behind the scenes. I would still love to dedicate myself to like the pre-rendered kind of like platformer art style of it, because like I think that's just so cool, and it's something that you don't really see these days. But yeah. Hang on. I'm going to move the chat around on my screen to make it a little easier for me. There we go. There we go. There we go. Can you guys still hear me okay? I set the mic up on my desk, so I just want to make sure that I'm like not too far away from it. Diddy Kong Racing Remake. Yes. That's actually one that we should probably just get a sequel to at this point. Because they did remake it on the DS. But, yeah. Let's just get a new one. Do you think they bring back arms? See, that's something that I kind of want to, like, tackle in a video or something. To, like, talk a little bit about. Because, I don't know. It felt like something that they were kind of trying to build up at first. I mean, ARMS had some decent support early on in the Switch's life, but then, you know, after they were done updating the game, which came very quickly and very abruptly, it was just like, alright, here it is, the final update, and it was like, what, 2 months in, or something like that? It was like, oh, okay. And then that was just it. So, I don't know. I liked the game quite a bit, and I would like to see them take another stab at it and maybe expand upon what they had. But I don't know. I don't know. I beg of you, please review Diddy Kong Racing on the DS. No one ever talks about it. I finally got into Diddy Kong Racing for the first time a couple of years ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And I did a video about it on this channel, actually. And I liked it a lot. And then I went and played the DS version, and it wasn't bad, but I think the N64 version is better. It's just the way to play Diddy, you know. Didda. Diddy Kong. DK themed DLC is likely for Mario Kart World. I'm with you there. I think that's probably what's gonna happen. Because Mario Kart World is gonna be around for a while. Like, there's a good chance that that's probably gonna be the Mario Kart that we're gonna be looking at for the next decade. That's my prediction. And so they're probably going to continue to expand on it. They'll do new DLC, do some like additional like I don't know continents, I guess, and attach them to the big world map. So I could totally see DK Island being like a DLC pack sometime after Bonanza. Bonanza will come out, and then they'll do a big Donkey Kong themed DLC for Mario Kart World to help, I don't know, kind of redirect some people towards Bonanza. You know, just a little bit of cross promotion there. So yeah, I could totally see that. Either that, or I have a little tinfoil hat theory that maybe a new Diddy Kong Racing could be happening. I don't know that I necessarily believe it. It's just a funny little theory. So, but that's my other prediction of why we might not have seen Diddy Kong and the other Kongs yet. Because they're saving them for like a Diddy / Donkey Kong Racing or something. But more than likely, they're just going to be a DLC pack for Mario Kart World. That makes the most sense. DK themed tracks with Diddy, Dixie, and Funky. Maybe the Voidco Monkeys and K. Rool. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to see K. Rool be in a Mario Kart game. That would be really cool. Oh! I can't get comfortable. I'm like scooting around in this chair, and I just can't find a comfortable position. Excuse me. You do wonder what angle Diddy Kong Racing would take. Would Nintendo and Microsoft find a dev to make it like Super Mario RPG? Probably. Because I don't see Rare touching anything like that again. Hi, Mr. Stripe. How are you doing, buddy? My kitty cat. He comes up, he puts his paws on your legs. He stands up on his hind legs, puts his 2 front paws on you, and then he like taps your shoulder like, hey, can I sit? Can I sit with you? Yes, you can sit with me. Come here. Come here, big boy. He's a big boy. He's a big Mr. Stripe. Come here, buddy. He's looking up at me. Like, he wants to come up here. He wants to sit with me. But he's just... There. Oh, there we go. Oh, he like dug his claws into my leg to get up. Good boy. Hey, Al, hope you're having a good night. I am, Mr. Bones. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight so far. It's been, it's just fun to get on here and yap about games. You know, it's a good time. Go ahead, lay down. Lay down on my lap if you're going to lay down. Good boy. Now he's comfortable. Now he's nice and cozy. Master's dry. What's on Nintendo's mind right now? Rewriting the terms and conditions to make it more scary to hack / mod your console. They now reserve the right to brick your console. Won't stop people from doing it anyway. I feel like that's kind of already a thing that they do, right? I mean, if you hack your console, they kind of make it hard to access stuff. I don't know if they can even... can they legally do that? Can they make it so that way if you mod your console, they like... I don't know, they have a kill switch, basically, that just makes it unusable. I feel like they might run into some problems with that, but I don't know. The laws, the rules, they might be different in Japan. I don't know. Japan says, glory to Nintendo. They can do what they want. What do you think of the new Legends ZA game? Personally, I'm not that hyped for it like I was the other one. Just being in the city doesn't excite me as much. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, Pokemon has just completely dropped off for me. The last game I enjoyed from them was Legends Arceus, and even that felt like it was like the tech demo for what a full game could have been. That sounds pretty harsh, but and I liked the game. It just felt like there wasn't a whole lot of substance to it. And then what was it? What were the games that came after that? The mainline ones.
Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, yeah, Scarlet and Violet, and they ran like hot dog ass. I couldn't even get into it. I just couldn't even get into it because of that. I'm pretty picky about frame rates and like just the way that games run and all that. I can handle a game with a lower frame rate, you know, but that game chugged and it looked ugly and it was buggy and it was a mess. So, yeah, they have some work to do if they want to, like, recapture my interest in the Pokemon series, you know. The new Legends game, I'm not interested. Who knows, maybe if it comes out and it looks like it's a cool game, maybe. But nothing that I've seen about it so far has really, like, gotten me interested. It just looks like, you know, it's more Pokemon. I don't know why, but I've been traumatized by the series ever since the Clay Netflix series came out. Claymation anime is a fear I never knew I had until I laid eyes on that series. I forgot that was a thing that they did. I haven't seen it. I remember seeing, like, you know, just screenshots of it or whatever, but yeah. Not really, like I said, not really a Pokemon guy myself these days. They pretty much burned my what am I looking for? They've burned that bridge for me. They took advantage of us one too many times. They sold us dog shit. And, yeah, I'm not having it anymore, so I'm good. Doesn't it feel great to have a brand new DK game right around the corner, an actual hype cycle for a DK game? I'm living for it. I know, dude, like, that's what I'm saying, too. It's so cool. It's something I'd never even, like, considered when getting a new DK game revealed, that there would be a hype cycle in the lead up to it, and that I would get to be a part of it. You know, I just always, I don't know, it was one of those situations where, like, okay, the game gets revealed, and then it's like, okay, well, what now? I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's super cool. I'm living for it. I almost am kind of just the slightest bit disappointed that it's going to be over as soon as it is. It's a really short hype cycle. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to play the game as soon as possible, so I'm not really that worried about it. But, you know, like, sometimes the lead up to a game is also just half the fun of it, you know? So, do you believe the theory of DK Jr. is modern DK? Nah. Well, I wasn't thinking when I said that. Maybe. It's a possibility. I think that just kind of makes sense. If I'm being honest, if I'm being real, like, that's a retcon that I wouldn't necessarily mind Nintendo leaning into. Just modern DK. You know, our DK is DK Jr. grown up. It just makes sense, you know. But that's just me. That's just me. Oh. maybe we can go back to coping during the next decade gap after Bonanza. Once Bonanza is here, once it's fully in our possession, I'm hanging up my coping tie. Hanging up my coping necktie, you know, and I'm gonna ride off into the sunset and enjoy Bonanza, soak it up, let it wash over me, and that's gonna be it. And then just whatever happens with the DK series from that point forward is just what happens, you know. If Bonanza is our last Donkey Kong game that we ever see, period, then I can live with that. But that being said, I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think this is probably just the start of a whole new era for Donkey Kong. It's just, you know, I'm not gonna be sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for a new Donkey Kong game at every single opportunity, you know. If they get revealed, then that's it. I'll be like, yes, great, I'm here for it. But I'm going to have a lot of closure with Bonanza, I think. I'll be satisfied. Bonanza is shaping up to be my dream Donkey Kong game, basically. I was talking about it a bunch last stream, but, like, I have a digital footprint of this, like, over the years of me talking about this, where I thought it would be the coolest thing ever to get a big brand new Donkey Kong game at the start of the next generation of Nintendo that could sort of act in a way as like a graphical showcase for the console in a similar way to how Donkey Kong Country was back on the Super Nintendo. And, well, don't get me wrong, it's a really damn good looking game. I don't know if I would quite say it's like the biggest graphical showcase for what the Switch 2 is capable of necessarily, but regardless, it's a big new Donkey Kong game on the Switch 2, and that's what I wanted. It's a big new 3D Donkey Kong game, which is also what I really wanted, because let's just face the facts. The 3D games are just, they have more of a general audience appeal than 2D platformers do, and especially Donkey Kong, it's much more of like a niche kind of platformer series to an extent. You know, they've sold really well. Don't get me wrong, they sell millions. But I don't think, I feel like the 2D style of the games, and just the difficulty of them too, is probably, it lessens the, like, wide appeal that it could have. And so, a 3D Donkey Kong game puts the series on a big, ambitious new pedestal for people who've never played a Donkey Kong game before, and may redirect them to future 2D Donkey Kong games after we get them, you know? And so, that's another big reason that I wanted a big 3D game, and we got that. And then, of course, I also really wanted it to harken back to Rare's heyday with the series, you know, stop being ashamed of it. And it seems like they're doing that here. So, yeah, Bonanza is literally just shaping up to be my dream Donkey Kong game. It's everything that I've wanted for the past 11 years. It's almost here. I'm going to have that closure. I will really have that closure if King K. Rool is in it, which, you know, you guys have probably been checking out my videos lately. You know, I'm pretty convinced he will be. I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest he will be. And then at that point, yeah, I'll be totally set. Whatever happens with the series beyond that is just whatever happens. I'll be satisfied. My back. Ooh, my back. What costumes do you think we'll see in Bonanza? What's the obscurest reference they could make? A Redneck Kong outfit? Probably. I don't even know what would be more obscure than that. I think it would be really cool if they did a Silicon Graphics style Donkey Kong, like, alternate skin for Bonanza. I think that would be really cool. I don't necessarily think they will, but maybe they would. I don't know. That would be really cool. That would be a pretty deep cut. Like the green wireframe Rareware logo. Now that could be an interesting idea too. I was even thinking more just like the way that they're rendered, but yeah, with the green wireframe and stuff too. Why not? let's make it happen. But I guess as far as like actual outfits and stuff, I don't even know. You said a rare backpack with a novelty stuffed ostrich? Now there. Okay. That would be the perfect way to get a Banjo reference in there in a way that still, like, I don't know. That would just work. I'm there for that. I like that idea. Give DK like the yellow pants and the belt buckle too. Let's get it. Let's get it. Do you guys think that the other Kongs are going to be in this game in any capacity? I mean, I'm thinking they probably will be. But do you think there's any chance that they'll have any kind of like gameplay significance? Is there any chance that like Diddy and Dixie and stuff will be used as like sort of power-ups in a way, that the way the way they were in Returns and Tropical Freeze? Ugh. Less Croc Watch and more Kong Watch at the moment. I feel that. I'm with you there. Honestly, like, it kind of does feel like we should be more on the Kong Watch side of things than anything. There's so much evidence for K. Rool. It's like, okay, so what's going on with the Kongs? Where's my boy Diddy? Where's Dixie? We got Cranky, which was like, that really took a lot of the anxiety away that we might not see the other Kongs. I'm glad that they gave us Cranky after that trailer, because it really didn't feel like there was a whole lot of, the old that they were bringing back. But luckily, there was Cranky, so I need to sip some water. Give me a moment. Woo! Since Cranky's here, you think the others will most likely be here somewhere? I think I'm in agreement with you there. And especially because they have that Donkey Kong calendar coming up next year that also features Diddy and Dixie on it. I do think at the bare minimum, Diddy and Dixie are probably going to be in this game. I'm really hoping, though, that they also just give us the whole smorgasbord of Kongs, not necessarily as playable, but like as NPCs in the game. Come on, let's bring them back. Let's get funky, let's get chunky, let's get lanky, let's get tiny, let's get swanky, let's get them all. That's probably a big ask, but this is the first 3D Donkey Kong that we've had in a long time, and I'm assuming they're going to fill up this world with a bunch of NPCs and characters and things, right? Doesn't it just make sense to bring the other Kongs into this too and have them be here, just throughout the game as NPCs? I saw somebody mention the Brothers Bear. Those guys too. Dude, they can do so much. They could bring back so many characters and it would just work. The real question, will they reference Brentalfloss's song about where they're at now? Yeah. When you get to the spooky layer of Donkey Kong Bonanza, you visit the graveyard. And the biggest headstone in the whole place. My boy Chunky. I'm sorry, Chunky. You was a big monkey. You were a little bit funky, but now you're donkey. Not video game donkey. Just done. You're done. Key. Okay. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I've been rambling for 2 hours. I don't know if, like, anybody else here streams or anything, but after I've been on stream for a while and I'm just, like, rambling away, I almost feel like I'm high. I don't even know how else to put it. Speaking of being high, that has nothing to do with what I'm about to do. I need to take my hoodie off because it's getting hot in here. Oh! Can we make sure that when Bonanza comes out, a stream will happen or will be episodic videos? I'm trying to decide what to do with Bonanza because, like, on one hand, like, I know that a lot of you guys out there want to see me play it and you want to get my, like, you want to get my first impressions of the game. Let me just say this. I'm probably not going to do what I'm about ready to say, but, like, there's a part of me that really just wants to play it and not record myself, not stream myself. I just want to play the game and I want to get immersed in it. I don't want to have to worry about being, you know, on for it, you know. I don't want to have to worry about, like, bringing the energy. I just want to play the game. But at the same time, this is it's kind of my job. It's kind of my job to do that. So I kind of feel like I need to, like, just kind of stuff that down a little bit and decide how I should make content out of it. And I'm kind of kicking around a couple of different options for that. Like, on one hand, like, I think streaming probably makes sense, you know? Super chats are a thing, and getting to experience it live with you guys would be a really cool way to play the game. But at the same time, like, I also definitely want to do a playthrough video, kind of like my 100% videos that I've done, that I did last year. And I don't know how big of a pain that's going to be, like, bouncing back and forth between chat while also remembering that, like, okay, I need to, like, stop recording to have reasonable chunks to edit, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I will stream and record the game or if I'll just record the game. And then make a big video with my whole playthrough that you can, like, sit down and watch in one sitting. I think... I don't know. I'm not sure. I gotta think about it. I gotta do a little thinking. I got a little bit of time before that comes out, though. But that being said, I mean, would you guys be interested in watching me stream Mario Kart World whenever that comes out? So I feel like that's probably a relatively easy one to just, like, get on here and play, you know. Mario Kart World is Mario Kart just in general is an easy, like, hop in, hop out kind of thing. So that might be a fun one to do. Lots of yeahs in the chat. That's cool. On your second playthrough, you can stream. On your first one, enjoy the game on your own. Yeah, that's something I considered too, but here's the thing about doing that. I also don't want to burn myself out on Donkey Kong Bonanza, you know? Like, I don't want to rush through the game for a video and then replay it immediately after for stream, and then it kind of leaves, like, a taste of, you know, alright, I've played this game too much now, and now it's, like, it has, like, soured my enjoyment of it. I know that's kind of it sounds crazy to even say that, because, like, oh, how could I get sick of Donkey Kong? But, you know, you can only play a game so much before you start to get a little, like, about it, you know. And I don't want that to happen with Bonanza right away. I just want to play it and experience it. Yeah, it can lose its magic. That's a good way to put it, Salmon. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm definitely gonna play it. I'll probably do a video for it, like just a playthrough. I may stream it. I'm not sure. And then, you know, I'll play it until I'm satisfied with it, basically. So, not gonna force myself to overplay it and then not enjoy it anymore. Woohoo! Yeehaw! You can't afford a Switch 2. I'm sorry to hear that. That's kind of the thing that is just a little iffy about this whole Nintendo Switch 2 era right now. It's going to be very expensive. Not just the console, but the games, too. I know a lot of people are not going to be able to afford them, and that's a shame. You know, Nintendo was always more of the affordable option when it came to gaming and consoles and things. And, well, seems like they're ready to become a premium console. You know, beat it, take a break from it in a few months, come back to stream it. True. But, you know, at the same time, I also want to, like, capitalize on it as much as I can while it's new and relevant, you know. So, I don't know. I'm so back and forth, wishy-washy about what to do with Bonanza, but I'll figure it out. You can do a video of your first experience sitting down to play it in your fanciest attire and treat it as the most regal affair for an opening. Yeah, I probably will do that. I want to do that, like, within the first day or two of the game being out, do, like, a first impressions kind of video. Because, yeah, that feels like a good place to start. I can get it out relatively quickly, and you won't have to wait, potentially, a couple weeks for the playthrough video to come out. You can at least hear some of my thoughts off the rip. That is if I don't stream it. I mean, I could... I don't know. I have a lot of planning to do. I have a lot of things to figure out. Which, by the way, if you guys want to contribute towards some editing hands for a DK Bonanza playthrough, super chats are open. But it's not a requirement. I'm just throwing it out there, you know. I got a little goal there. The thing that sucks about super chats and memberships and anything with YouTube currency is that YouTube takes so much of it. That's the part that sucks. That's why I have a Patreon, though, too. Helps out with that. Premium console without the premium hardware. Yes and no. Switch 2 is definitely going to be a beefy piece of hardware for a handheld. I think what's going to be the most telling thing for me, as far as, like, what the system is capable of. What frame rate will Elden Ring run at? If it can hit 60 FPS, alright, we're in business. If it can't hit 60 FPS, I will stick to third-party games elsewhere, on Steam or PlayStation or wherever. Nintendo is always like a first-party console, first and foremost for me, you know. That's where I tend to lean when it comes to the Nintendo stuff. As long as they bring the games, like, I'll be here for it. And, like, honestly, the first year alone of games that they've got announced for this thing, I'm here for it. We got Mario Kart, which I think looks awesome. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I don't need to say anything about that. Kirby Air Riders. We haven't even seen any gameplay yet, but I'm already sold, man. I loved Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. And Sakurai is back to the directing chair for Kirby. Kirby Air Riders. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm here. Here for it. I'm lined up. Day one. Metroid Prime 4. Yes. Hell yes. I think Nintendo just released like another glimpse at that game on the Nintendo Today app today. I think that's where it was from. And holy shit, dude. Prime 4 looks so good. Visually, like from a visual standpoint. And I'm sure the game's gonna be great too, but visually, oh my god, dude, that is really showcasing what the the console's gonna be capable of right there. That's how you do a graphical showcase. Looks like sex for my eyeballs. Literally just want 1080, 60, don't care about ray tracing or 4K. I'm with you there. Like, dude, 60 FPS is like, that's kind of my baseline for games nowadays, you know? So when it comes to third-party games on Nintendo consoles, if they're below 60, which most of the time they are, and I can get it to run better anywhere else, I usually just opt to get it somewhere else, you know? I'm a bit of a stickler for frame rates these days. I'm a little bit picky. If I can get it better elsewhere, I will. Otherwise, though, I mean, I'm not opposed to picking up, you know, third-party games and stuff on the Switch or Nintendo as long as they run well. But, you know, Nintendo also has, they also don't lean into achievements the way that other platforms do, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox. And I like having those at my disposal as well. If I really like a game, I like to go in and try to get all the achievements and stuff. But, you know, when it comes to Nintendo games, like, there's not always that extra little, like, nudge of motivation to go in and do everything. Because, you know, I don't have achievements. I don't get a funny little badge that says, hey, you collected all the fart canisters in this level. That's what I like, you know? So, having achievements would be on the top of your wish list for the Switch too. Yeah, me too. And it seems like they're probably not doing it, which stinks. But it's not a huge shock. Like, I think they've made some kind of statement about that in the past when it comes to achievements, that they don't want that to be like the focus of the game for the gamers or something. I don't know. They want them to focus on the experience and not just like, you know, completing everything arbitrarily or whatever. But it's like, that's not how it is. I could be wrong. Like, I don't even know if that's exactly what they said, but for me, it's like, well, I'm not gonna go for all the achievements in a game if I don't like it. If I really like a game, that's gonna make me want to go in and do everything. I mean, even if I do like games, even if I do like the game that I'm playing, I don't always opt to try to get every single achievement. But, you know, I don't know. Nintendo's weird. They are weird. Maybe in 20 years, they'll catch up to the times and add achievements and treat it like they're revolutionizing gaming and drop $130 games to coincide with adding achievements to them. I need to sip some water. Give me a moment. Currently playing DK64, trying to get 100%. You've played over 13 hours and only have 43%. I played through it in 2020, and if I remember correctly, it took me over 24 hours total to 100% the game. So you're close to halfway. I wish you luck, soldier. It's a tough one. That's a tough one to 100%. That would be a game that I would need achievements for to give me the motivation to go through and 100% that thing again. Aiden! Hey, Aiden's here with the $2 super chat. What is the stream goal for? It's It's just there. It's mostly just to help out the channel. Because I am trying to get enough revenue going with the channel for some upcoming stuff, specifically related to the Switch 2. I want to be able to... I'm hoping and praying that I can invest a little bit in some editing help in the near future, because there's going to be a lot of videos that I want to crank out starting in June. I want to do some videos about Mario Kart. Probably a couple videos. I'm going to do, some stuff just about the Switch 2 itself. Donkey Kong's coming up in July, so any donations, any super chats, whether it's super chats, memberships, Patreon, all those things are going to help go towards the channel. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Holy shit, dude! What the fuck? Oh my god! Okay. Let me just say, before I get to that one, Mr. Bones, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Your editing work is such an inspiration to my own. Here's to DK Bonanza. Thank you for the kind words. Aiden, holy shit! Holy shit, man! Oops, he says. Holy crap, man. Dude, thank you. Thank you guys so much. You guys are too generous. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Like I said, everything that's going to be going back into the channel. That's my goal for right now. That also includes the Switch consoles themselves, It's all going towards helping this thing out. So, and I appreciate it. I'm loving the direction that the channel's been going here lately. I feel so blessed to be able to make Donkey Kong videos that people actually want to watch. And it kind of seems like my channel is starting to skew more towards the Nintendo niche, which I'm not entirely sure how to feel about that entirely just yet. But, I might as well ride the wave while I have it. And I don't want to do things the way that I did them a while ago. I mean, I used to be... I've been an outspoken critic on Nintendo for years, but I've eased off of that a bit, because just making critical videos and negative videos is not nearly as fun as just making videos that I'm having fun with. So, and I felt that especially with the last Multiverses video that I did. I mostly just wanted to finish up that series of videos, because I had done 2 videos talking about Multiverses up to that point, but that last one was a slog to get through, because I just wasn't having fun. I don't want to just, shit on games. I love games, This is my hobby. This is my job. I don't want to be, just shitting on them all the time. So I'm hoping that if there are games from Nintendo that I'm not super thrilled about during the Switch 2 generation, which I'm sure it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just bound to happen. That, I won't feel so much pressure to just shit on them, I guess. But yeah, thank you, dude. Aiden, you're a maniac. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, everybody tonight who has donated through Super Chats. You guys are super amazing. Honestly, just thank all of you guys for being here in general. We've had a pretty consistent, viewer count tonight. It's pretty cool. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I get to be on here and I get to yap about games. That's fun. Turbo Pikachu with the $1.99 super chat. I didn't miss you there, pal. Thank you so much. Kirby Air Ride's checklist system was like crack. Yeah, it was. Dude, I used to do that. I used to be... I used to do that, I says. No, not crack. Not the crack. That wasn't what I meant. I used to go through that checklist. Yeah, try to get everything. I remembered how mind-blowing it was as a kid to unlock King Dedede and Meta Knight as playable. It was just like, oh my god. Whoa, that's so cool. So I'm hoping that we get some more stuff like that in Kirby Air Riders. There's a lot of concern, maybe not concern, but I've seen some people express some concerns that because Sakurai is involved with it again, he tends to ignore the Kirby games that he didn't work on. So I'm hoping that he'll kind of draw from all corners of the Kirby game universe and implement them into Air Riders. But it feels like Sakurai's been working his way up to this for a while, honestly, if you think back on it, because like during the Smash 4 days, you know, there was a Smash Run, and that was just straight up like Smash Brothers Kirby Air Ride. You know, the same mechanics were lifted. It was, you know, very similar. You could see the Sakurai written all over it. And so I think it's super dope that he's back at it again. And yeah. If they had ended the Switch 2 Direct on Kirby Air Ride, I would have been satisfied. I would have been like, yes, that was awesome. But then, of course, they weren't done there. They came in and blew me away with Donkey Kong, and then that was just put it over the top even more. Al, could you give me a heads up of what is the meaning of the $200 bar, please? Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's just basically like, just to, you know, try to work up some funds for the channel right now so that hopefully, you know, I can afford some extra hands to help me out in the coming months with lots of different videos, basically. A YouTube buddy of mine, you guys probably maybe know him, Super Wee Bros. He's offered to lend his hand to help edit some videos, so I definitely want to get him involved. Maybe some other editing pals of mine. That'd be cool. Excuse me. Smash Run was definitely city trial for Smash. Loved it. Yeah, I know, dude. Honestly, like the thing that stinks about it is just that it's locked to the 3DS. I would have loved to see it come back on the Wii U version or even just Smash Ultimate. Smash Ultimate had that like weird, I don't know, board game party mode thing. Or wait a minute, no, that was Smash Wii U. What am I thinking? Smash Wii U, I guess is what I'm thinking. I don't know. But yeah, that was weird. It wasn't as good as Smash Run. I don't know. I would have loved to see it come back for Ultimate. Who knows? Maybe, I was gonna say maybe they'll release it as like a DLC for Smash Ultimate or something. But well, Sakurai's busy on Kirby Air Ride right now, which is gonna have that in spades. So I don't know. It is what it is. Answer Jordan's question. Wait, where is it? Oh, very important question. Why did you take down your Mario Golf Super Rush review? I just, honestly, like, I don't remember fully entirely why I removed it. I removed that a while ago. Okay. I think I have a reasonable answer and explanation for you. Well, for one thing, that was back what I would say would be at like the tail end of my negative about Nintendo arc, where I just wasn't pleased with anything they were doing. And I didn't look fondly on that video, but also the fact that I kind of saw Mario Golf through a new lens to an extent. Like, I personally, it's still not my cup of tea as far as Mario Golfs go. There are much better Mario Golf games out there. But my dad is a big Mario Golf guy. And my brother and I saved up and bought him a Switch of his own for Christmas one year. Along with Mario Golf, and he also really likes Mario Kart too. He likes Mario Kart. We got him that too, but he's definitely big into Mario Golf. And he seems to really enjoy that game. He has a lot of hours logged on Mario Golf. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got more hours than anybody on Mario Golf Super Rush. So, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really want that video up as a representation of the channel anymore. And I'm sure I probably have other videos that I feel that way about too, but I know Mario Golf Super Rush was a particularly, like, negative one that I had up, and I don't know. I just wasn't really happy with it. That's pretty much the best explanation I could give you there, I guess. I don't know. Not that, like, you know, sometimes Nintendo is worthy of criticism in a lot of ways, and I think that, like, even a lot of the stuff that I said about that game probably was justified. It's just, I don't think I was in the right headspace to do that video, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it about that. Froucher, 1020 super chat. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Would you prefer that Nintendo return to making separate, underpowered handhelds and more powerful home consoles, or continue with the Switch and improve upon the concept? That is a really good question. I've been talking to my friend Dave about that lately, and I think we're both kind of on the same page that I think it would be cool to see Nintendo do some underpowered handhelds again, because, you know, going into the Switch generation, I was really excited because it felt like, okay, Nintendo's handheld and console divisions are going to come together now under one big umbrella, and we're just going to get games. And to an extent, like, we kind of did, but a lot of them still sort of felt I don't want to say that they felt like handheld games, but, like, maybe that you could tell where those certain developers were more experienced with, I guess. And even then, like, we still didn't really get, like, the crazy amount of output that I would have thought that we might have. And the thing is now that, like, game development is getting so bloated in terms of budget and just time, the amount of length and time that it takes to make these games a reality. And so I wouldn't mind seeing them have, like, I don't even know where I would place it in terms of power, but just something that would allow games to come a little bit more often, and also at, like, a cheaper price, you know? It could be, like, the cheaper alternative for people who can't afford a Switch 2, you know what I mean? I don't know if it would ever happen, though. I could maybe see it happening. I think it would make sense for it to happen. You know? Because we've now reached an apex in terms of, like, graphics, power, just raw power that these consoles can handle. So we're not going up. We're not going up from there. I think it would just make sense for them to maybe even take a step back and start to do some, I don't know, easier to develop, not as powerful games. It probably won't happen for a while if it ever does, though. Hey, Captain Quack, 686 super chat, just to even have the stretch goal of your content and your content. Keep it up, brother. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We've hit the goal. We've hit the goal then. That's awesome. I gotta stream more often and do this more often because it seems to do good for the channel. So I appreciate all of you guys. Like I said, Not to keep, you know, tugging one out for you guys or anything. You know, sucking you off or whatever, but you guys are awesome. Woohoo! Oh, yeah, my monkey guy, I guess he is frozen. What happened there? Did my program crash? What's going on? What's happening? I actually don't even know where the window is for him. Oops! Hang on, I'm gonna... Oh. Ooh. What the heck? Okay, I think I might just be stuck that way. And that's just how it's gonna have to be. He's burping for all eternity. Yep. That would be me. That would definitely be me. You think they should release a Switch 2 Lite early this year, too? For those who prefer handheld gaming at affordable prices. They're definitely gonna ride out the Switch 2 for a while. And they are going to push and see what they can get away with the Switch 2 for a while. Like in terms of pricing and all that fun stuff. They're going to push those price tags as far as they can. And if they really get the metrics and see that things aren't working, maybe they'll ease up. And then, who knows, maybe they will do a Switch 2 Lite eventually, but it's going to be a while. It's definitely going to be a while. Yeah, I gotta scroll up here just a sec. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading. I was making sure I was caught up on everything. But sitting here yapping for so long, I'm starting to get like lightheaded. I'm like, whoa, dude. Whoa, dude, I can see the stars. ...3DS was peak Nintendo console UI. Yeah. Yeah, you know, that is kind of like one sort of slightly disappointing aspect about the Switch 2. Is that the UI is really largely unchanged. And still no themes as far as we can see. I think there was a rumor that themes are going to be a thing eventually. Like, they may include paid themes with, you know, your Nintendo points or whatever that you can get. And I guess that would be kind of cool, but no official sign of them so far. And, yeah, I don't know. The user interface of everything for the Switch, from the eShop to just like the home menu and all that kind of stuff, was by far the lamest part about the Switch, and something that I would have hoped that they would remedy with the Switch 2, but like, I don't know. I guess it's functional and it's snappy, and I guess that was, you know, what was prioritized about the consoles. I mean, they're supposed to be consoles that you pick up and play on the go, so they probably didn't want to make a whole lot of clutter on the menus and all that kind of stuff. So I guess like logistically I can see the reasoning behind it. It's just, you know, as a longtime Nintendo guy, you know, they've definitely had better user interfaces in the past, more interesting ones. You're going to be out of town the day after Bonanza releases. Pray for me. Well, hopefully you can have a Switch 2 and have it with you on the go. So then you don't have to worry about spoils or missing out. TJ Bond! $10 super chat! Thank you, my friend! Sincerely. I'm getting delirious. Sincerely. Still want to send y'all whiskey, but this'll have to do. What's a classic mascot, Nintendo or other, you'd like to see make a comeback? Well, thank you, and I may take you up on that whiskey offer someday. Someday. I don't drink as much as I used to. And, I probably don't need an excuse to get started, but you know, a little bit of whiskey, you know, but anyway, classic mascot, Nintendo other you'd like to see make a comeback. And this is going to be such an obvious one. You can see it coming from a mile away because of my, you know, what I'm a fan of and all that kind of stuff. But Banjo-Kazooie, man. I would love to see Banjo make a comeback, and I think it's going to happen. I think it is going to happen. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but I think eventually it will. I'm going to make a video about it, I think. But if I pick something a little less obvious than Banjo, let me think about that. Let me think. Honestly, I don't know. There's a couple of like PlayStation franchises I wouldn't mind seeing come back, like Ape Escape, Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper is probably up there on my list. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Maybe a new Pac-Man world would be really cool. Seems like these companies are super into like remaking games these days rather than just giving us brand new ones. I know Crash was back a couple years ago, but he's kind of in limbo again because of just all the acquisitions and craziness and Toys for Bob splitting off of Activision and Microsoft and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if Crash is probably one of those ones that we're going to have to beg for again if we want to see him come back. Spyro would be cool too. I would definitely not mind that. That's the rumor right now, that Toys for Bob is working on a new Spyro game. So maybe that's what they're doing. I know there's some speculation that they might be working on a Banjo game too, but I think it's going to be one or the other. It's either going to be Spyro or Banjo. And I'd be down for either one from them. Toys for Bob does some really good stuff. Oh yeah, a Little Big Planet, yeah. Yeah, it seems like PlayStation's kind of throwing them to the wayside, unfortunately. Little Big Planet was fun. Those games were fun. I actually did like the Sackboy game too, but I don't think it did very well. So I think PlayStation's probably just done there, unfortunately, which sucks. Modern PlayStation in general just kind of sucks. I don't think that's a hot take. They have a handful of franchises that they're hyper-focused on, and they all play the same over-the-shoulder, big, stupid, cinematic craziness. They're like playable movies. And that's fine if you're into those kinds of games, but I like a lot of their creative older games too. Like Astrobot is my favorite game that they've put out this generation. That game was phenomenal. Like that's not even just like one of my favorite PlayStation games. It's probably one of my favorite platformers. Astrobot was so good, dude. So good. So, Astrobot, really good game. Would love to see like Sly Cooper come back. I was pleased that they did a new Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank's really good. Those games are phenomenal. Even if you don't feel too strongly about the new, like, kind of characterizations and the story direction for Ratchet and Clank, which I know a lot of people don't. I'm sure we could at least see eye to eye and say that the gameplay is still a lot of fun. That's how I feel anyway. I think it's great. I think there should be a new Crash on the way. I think that AI thing Activision did was a way to build up hype. It didn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, I've kind of seen some, like, different, like, varying opinions about that. Some people think it was just a way for them to sort of test the waters, basically. to kind of gauge interest to see if there was still anybody out there interested in Crash, but I don't know why they would do it that way. Because, yeah, not a good move. I don't know. I hope Crash finds a home, like a stable home. Crash is one of those ones that definitely needs to stick around. I loved Crash 4. It was awesome. And, I don't know, the remake of Team Racing and Nitro Fueled, like, that was excellent. We were robbed by it never coming to PC. It needed to come on PC at some point. Just never did. They love remastering games that are backwards compatible with the current console. Yep. See, and that's kind of my fear a little bit going into the Switch 2 generation too. Like, I don't want them to do the Sony thing where they're giving like some of these games are getting additional content, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario Party. But, like, some of them are just performance boosts that you still have to pay for, like Zelda. Like, Zelda is getting like crumbs of additional features, basically, but it's nothing substantial. And they're re-releasing them physically for $80. And I don't know. It kind of feels a little bit like they're taking the cheap approach there. So I hope that they don't lean too much into that as far as like treating them like new releases. I don't want those games to be filling out months of Nintendo Switch 2's game catalog. You know what I mean? Which actually, it's funny. The whole point of this stream was to talk about, what they could do as far as like a holiday title this year. And it didn't even dawn on me that, like, yeah, they are physically re-releasing some of those Switch 1 games for the Switch 2 later this year. And there's a part of me that has to wonder if they might just, fluff up the holiday lineup. And maybe the games that we know about are going to be it. I don't know. That being said, it is what it is. If that's ultimately what Nintendo decides to do, I have lots of games to play elsewhere. My back catalog is massive, as I'm sure a lot of yours are too. So, what if they did it? Hang on a second. Like, slurring my words now. I'm like, I've been sitting here for way too long. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna sip some water. Oh, mama! Ooh, okay. Back to sitting down land. Ooh, water! How do you actually have a gaming chair with your name on it as well as a banana patterned shirt? I also hope you were a monkey IRL. Well, I got good news and bad news. I do have a banana patterned shirt IRL. And I am a monkey IRL. I do not have a gaming chair with my name on it. So, 2 out of the 3. Although some may argue that I'm more of a hog than a monkey. I don't have an opinion on that. I leave that up to other people to decide. 2 for 3 is still good. Yeah, it's would it be considered passing? I don't know. 2 out of 3? I don't know. Smash Ultimate with like 5 new characters is the hell outcome. See, that's kind of what I'm thinking they might do. Like, ah. Because somebody brought up a really good point that, we have this Switch console now that's so much more capable than the base Switch, the Switch 1. And what? They're gonna... The Switch 1 had the biggest, most expansive Smash Brothers that we've had to date. And what? They're gonna release a new Smash Brothers for the Switch 2 that has less content, less characters, less stages. Yeah, that feels kind of weird, especially whenever you can still play Smash Ultimate on the Switch 2. So my guess, and I agree with what that person had said, they're probably just going to release like a performance patch update for the Switch 2 with Smash Ultimate, and maybe they'll do like a new Fighters Pass, maybe 2 if we're lucky, you know. I could totally see that being the direction they go. I feel like that was the deal with the devil that Sakurai had to make with Nintendo to be able to make Kirby Air Riders. They were like, okay, sure. You can make a sequel to this obscure, niche GameCube game from 20 years ago, but you're gonna make some fucking Smash Brothers. You're gonna make some fucking Smash Ultimate DLC for the Switch 2, and you're gonna goddamn like it. And Sakurai said, okay, alright, I'll do it. I just want my boy. I just want to make Kirby a ride. I don't know why I'm like Courage mixed with Larry David there, but that's where I ended up. I don't know. That's where I ended up. Do you think Smash Bros. Could end? Probably not. I think there will always be Smash Brothers. It's too big. It's too big of a deal for Nintendo. Even if it's not Sakurai at the helm, somebody's gonna do it. I feel like we all need a break from Smash, TBH. I'm not opposed to that, you know, especially after Ultimate. The general hype cycle around it became really exhausting. Especially during the fighters passes, like the discourse, just everything. It was exhaustive. And me personally, there's already no way ever for the rest of time that they are going to be able to surpass the excitement that I felt for King K. Rool getting into the game. That was my dream pick. That was my dream character right there. And, sure, they can bring K. Rool back for another Smash game, and I'll be really excited, and I'll be happy about that. But nothing's ever going to beat that first time seeing that trailer. The excitement that I felt, man, it was euphoric. And especially if they decide to remove K. Rool from the next Smash Bros. Game, which, oh, heaven forbid, I hope they never do. Yeah, Smash has already peaked for me. It's all downhill from here. What if they add Dixie and or Funky? Nope, I'm sorry, it can't. They won't be able to top K. Rool. Not even Cranky Kong. Cranky Kong is probably the next up on my list, but nothing's ever gonna beat K. Rool. And like the thing about that is because like K. Rool felt like an impossibility for the longest time. You know, he was a character that Nintendo didn't touch anymore. They didn't want anything to do with him. They didn't want anything to do with the Kremlings. So him coming back was a big deal. Characters like Dixie and Cranky, you know, Funky, like they've been around. They never really, like, truly went away. K. Rool definitely did. Which is why it's definitely going to be a big deal if he's back in Bonanza, too. That's going to be, like, the ultimate conclusion to the K. Rool arc. That's the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake, you know. Nintendo Earthbound will fix Smash Bros. Yeah, there we go. The new Echo Fighter. Better online. Yeah, that is one thing. Like I said, I think that Smash Ultimate is probably going to stick around, you know? So, if that's the case, if they're going to continue to update it and add things to it, yeah, improving the online would be at the top of the wish list. Because, like, there's not even really characters that I desperately want to see in the game at this point. I guess. I'm trying to think. There was a place I was going with that. Oh, yeah. Because, like, you know, they especially during the Fighters Passes, they really leaned into third-party fighters, which, they're cool. It's definitely cool to see, like, some of those characters, but Smash Brothers is always more exciting to me as, like, a representation of Nintendo and, like, the Nintendo characters and stuff, so I think, personally, I'd be more excited for some wackier first-party Nintendo picks than I would be for, you know, Resident Evil Man to get into Smash Brothers. I would be like, yeah, okay. But, you know, wouldn't it have been cool if, like, we got Cranky Kong? Wouldn't it have been cool if Waluigi and Gino made it in? K. Rool getting into Smash does not take away my hopes for Dixie and Cranky to get in. They both deserve it for their own reason. No, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you there too. And yeah, I don't even think K. Rool being in Smash takes away from my hopes for, you know, anything for Dixie and Cranky. It's just that, like, K. Rool was, like, a bigger deal to me, though, than Dixie and Cranky would be to, like, get into the game. But I absolutely agree with you. Dixie and Cranky should both be in the game. DK has been woefully underrepresented and snubbed for a long time. And Nintendo is definitely course-correcting the DK brand right now, like in real time with Bonanza. So I think things are going to start to change and be much better for us DK fans moving forward. Whew, okay, let's see. I'm probably not going to be doing this for a whole lot longer because I'm 3 hours in, which is insane. I've been doing this for 3 hours now. I have fun doing it. I have a great time doing it, but yeah, 3 hours streaming is a lot. But again, I'm just going to say it again. You guys are awesome for being here. I'm not stopping like just this minute, but it's been great. It's awesome to have you guys here. I love it. TJ Bond says, Al, this is not complaining about the new content. I love it. What's your plans with the meme channel or any ideas brewing? I talked about this a little bit on the last stream that, like, you know, when this year began, I was actually planning to go, like, full throttle on the meme channel. I had this creative stick up my butt, this creative bug in my ear that was really eating away at me, that I wanted to do some of that stuff. And I think you know that too, because, you know, well, you're on my Patreon, TJ Bond. Yeah, like, it was going great too, even. Like, you know, views were up. People were excited to see me doing that stuff again, and I was having fun doing it. And then I had a whole, like, copyright thing that I had to deal with. And that just really knocked the wind out of my sails. Because it just takes away from the fun of it, you know? I knew that at that point, if I was going to go work on another SpongeBob meme video for that channel, that it would just be a lingering thought in the back of my mind that, like, okay, well, if I do this, then I might have to, you know, fight a copyright claim, and if I do that, then, like, just... And the idea that, like, even after I upload it, and YouTube does all of its checks and approves everything, there's still a chance that somebody can swoop in, like, a week after the fact that it's been up, and it looks like things are good, and then just be like, nope, this is mine. All of your revenue is mine. I've claimed this whole video for this 5-second stretch where you used this segment of a song. And it's like, dude, YouTube, fix your shit, man. It's not a good system. So yeah, basically, that was a lot of rambling. I'm not opposed to going back to the memes at some point. I definitely want to. And I don't want to like say anything that's gonna I'm gonna wish I hadn't. But there's a chance. It's not anytime soon. I don't have any plans for it anytime soon. That I might do another DK abridged at some point. Like I said, like there's no plans for it right now. I'm not like working on anything. I'm just focused here on Uncle Al Plus for the time being. I'm having a lot of fun over here. I get to make videos talking about games. I get to sit here and talk to you guys about games. It's a lot of fun. But, it's a possibility, potentially, someday, if this channel especially, like, does better numbers to a point where, I can have editing help here on this channel while I'm working on something over on the meme channel. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's the YouTube experience for you, baby. You liked mine. Tears of the Kingdom minute review. It was really funny. Well, thank you. Thanks for that. I was kind of experimenting with my gaming stuff around that period. I wasn't really sure like what kind of format I wanted. I'm still not even 100% sure. I've played around with a bunch of different formats this last year, and I'm kind of just going with the flow, Like, I don't think I have any consistent format that I would say, like, yes, this is the kind of thing you can expect to see here on this channel. I was doing 100% runs for a little bit. I was streaming for a bit, just talking about random gaming topics, making goofy videos, and now this is the DK era of this channel right now. So, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, I got your TJ Bond. I figured, just curious. That's cool. I'm happy to extrapolate. Sorry if that was really a really long-winded explanation for it. But yeah. Ugh. And have it made by Platonic Games. Oh, wait, I'm in the same boat as you. It also say the original levels or worlds from DK Land and the Boss remakes of arcade titles. Are we talking about remakes of, like, the country games? I think that'd be interesting. Interesting. My favorite part of the Tears of the Kingdom review was the abrupt transitions between gameplay and font. That was fun. That one was a fun one to edit. People, like, it wasn't really meant to be, like, a super in-depth review or anything like that, it was supposed to be, like, sillier than anything, but there were people who took it as, like, me trying to be a serious critic, and were flaming me for it, so I was like, okay. maybe my sarcasm, my sense of humor wasn't shining through in the way that I thought it was in that video. But that's the fun thing about YouTube, you just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. It's about testing out a lot of different things sometimes, Oh, man. I think I'll go for maybe about... say about maybe another 7 minutes. We'll get up to, like, 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's a fun spot. That's a fun round place to land, right? I still see Aiden's super chat at the top there. Aiden, if you're still out there, I appreciate you, man. That was very, very generous. Jordan, phone's on 9%, so gotta go see you later. I appreciate you being here, Jordan. You've been chatting it up. I appreciate that. It was nice Nice having you here to hang out. David Banjo, yeah. It was hilarious either way. I appreciate it. I think I gassed this up earlier. If you guys haven't seen my Billy Hatcher review yet, I thought that one was pretty funny. I thought that one was pretty silly. I think I had a ton of fun editing that video too. It was a blast to work on. I think it was just an unfortunate circumstance of like the topic not being a very relevant one, and that's why that video just bombed. It just bombed. But I think I'm gonna try that format out again with some upcoming games like Mario Kart and probably some other Nintendo stuff this year, because there's a lot of Nintendo stuff on my radar this year now all of a sudden. So maybe I'll do some goofy videos like that for those as well. Oh, you know what? While I'm here, I've always wanted to tell you your Donkey versus Monkey video. Did people really thought you were Donkey? They didn't really think I was Donkey, but like I got a lot of comparisons to him. It's funny, I still get comparisons to Donkey occasionally, like mostly just if people are talking shit about me or whatever. I'll see people being like, oh yeah, he's just a you know, dollar store video game donkey or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really see myself that way, but you know, honestly, that's a compliment, if anything. I think Donkey's a funny guy. I like his stuff, so. The whiskey, by the way, I was planning on sending some smaller shooters, so you don't feel like you've got a bunch. I appreciate that. It's tempting. It's a temptation. By the way, Al, my dream character pick for Smash was Banjo-Kazooie. That Banjo was up there for me too. Banjo was also a really big want for me. It was K. Rool, Banjo, and either Dixie or Cranky, and K. Rool and Banjo both made it. So again, like, just all the more reason that like Smash Ultimate, I don't think there's any way that they can top that game for me, at least in terms of character reveals. Maybe they can really up the like the gameplay in a certain way. They could update it and just revamp it. But in terms of characters, yeah, K. Rool and Banjo, that was the peak. That's the peak for me. You've shared the Billy Hatcher video so much, it's fantastic. I appreciate that. I see you. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to work on. I'm hoping to be able to do more like it. Maybe for more relevant games that would stand a better chance of being viewed. Do you have a pet? I have 3. I have 3 stinky kitties. They're good boys. But, man, they can be a handful sometimes. I love my kitty boys, though. What can I say? Perhaps a reboot? A reboot. Oh, of Smash? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking would probably be, like, the best direction to take Smash. Excuse me. I gotta sip some more water. Geno, yeah. Well, Geno would be a big inclusion for a lot of people, just not for me personally. I mean, I like Mario RPG and I like Geno, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot of investment in like whether or not he gets in. Like I said, it'll never beat K. Rool. It just flat out can't. Nothing will. For me personally. Heck yeah, I got a stinky cat on my lap. I feel that. My stinky boys, my stinky kitty boys. Were you disappointed by the Byleth reveal in Smash? Yeah. Yeah. You know, because you had this fighter pass, right? That was just loaded with all these crazy character reveals, and it felt like, okay, so the last one should be something like mind-blowing, right? And then it was Byleth. It was like, oh, Okay. Another Fire Emblem character. Okay. But I don't know. At that point, I had already had everything that I wanted, you know, the biggest ones that I would have wanted, being K. Rool and Banjo, and I wasn't expecting Dixie or Cranky in any of the Fighters Passes at that point. So, you know, it just kind of was what it was. I wasn't really, like, it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. Here's a very specific question. 1 out of 10, what do you rate the food of Sheetz compared to other fast food? Ooh. Well, so this one's a tricky one for me because, like, I think Sheetz has good stuff. Back whenever I used to work at retail, I used to eat Sheetz, like, every day for lunch. I had a consistent schedule. I would work from, like, 6 in the morning to 2 p.m. And on my lunch, I would get Sheetz. I would drive over to Sheetz. It was right across the street from where I used to work. And I think I, like, overate it and got sick of it. So I definitely, when I moved to where I'm at now, there's a Rutter's near us. And I was into them for a bit. And I kind of got a little bit like, you know, whatever about them after a while, too. Now we have a Wawa. It's, like, brand new to my area. And I've been getting their mac and cheese. I actually I took a late night drive to Wawa last night to get mac and cheese, and they didn't have it last night. I was like, dude, come on, man. That's the whole reason I was here. I was like kicking around going for so long. I'm like, do I go and get Wawa? Is this a thing that I should do? And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then they didn't have mac and cheese. So I was like, damn it. I like they have like this garlic aioli mac and cheese. I've heard that the buffalo mac is really good there too. So I gotta try them. I gotta try them eventually. Floridians talk a bit, huge game about Wawa, and their Sammys are every bit as good as people hyped. You see, I tried one of them. I tried, like, I think it was like a Philly cheesesteak from there or something like that, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really impressed. Maybe that's not the way to go. Maybe I needed to try a different one or something. Daisy. Hi, Daisy. Dang it, now I want mac and cheese. Well, if you're ever near a Wawa, try their mac and cheese. I think it's pretty good. What are some subs? What are some subs from Wawa that are good to try? I like Italian subs. Do they have any good, like, Italian subs? Also gotten really big into, like, I don't know, just like meat lovers options too, whether it's on like pizza or, you know, you get like a sub with that has like chicken and ham and roast beef and like all the goods, you know. Say something funny, give that old Uncle Al charm. Zippity zoo. Well, it's me. I'm Uncle Al. Sounds like Butters. Yeah, Butters. Give me a BLT. I'll take a BLT with some mayonnaise. Only really tried the BLT. There's a way better place for subs. Can't say much more than that. Gotcha. Yeah. There's a place near me where I just tried their subs for the first time, like, within the last week, and they were pretty good. This went from talking about Nintendo to now we're just like discussing gas station food and subs. It's 11:30. It's 11:30 at night. Maybe it's past my prime. Yeah, that might be, Cody. I'm thinking, maybe we're thinking the same place. Yeah, you'll have to DM it to me. DM it to me on Discord and let me see if we're thinking the same place. Cheesesteaks you're super picky about because they need really thin shaved steak. Places like Highway 55 and Charlie's Cheesesteaks are my favorite, while even Jersey Mike's cheesesteak ain't it for me. That's interesting. I've never heard of those places, Highway 55 and Charlie's Cheesesteaks. Never heard of those. But I have had cheesesteaks from Jersey Mike's, and I do like Jersey Mike's, but, man, they're expensive. Yep, that's the place, Cody. That's the place. I just tried them for the first time, like, within the last week, and it was really good. I liked it. So. You gotta say funny little in that much. Oh, my funny little subs. I'm gonna have some funny little subs. my throat's like getting all fucked up. I've been yapping for so long. It's like getting kind of scraggly. Casey's Gas Station Pizza. I've never heard of Casey's Gas Station. You know a gas station I've never been to that I need to make my way to someday? I need to get to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's just sounds like a whole experience. Anytime I hear people talking about it, they're like, yes, you need to go to Buc-ee's. I'm like, okay. I want to go. I have some friends who live in Texas, and, they gas up Buc-ee's. Sheetz is like the dominant gas station place in my area, though. Excuse me. Sorry. I meant to hold that one back more, and then I forgot. When we getting the It's Always Sunny SpongeBob vid, do you... I don't know how much you know. Because there was one that I was working on years ago, actually. And it's actually complete, I think, even, but it's probably lost in my folders, files somewhere. I never released it because YouTube had demonetized my YouTube channel, like, just before I was ready to release it, due to, like, they always claim reused content. It's the dumbest thing, and I usually fight it, and they've denied me once. But then a couple months later, when I reapply, they give me the monetization back. But yeah, I wasn't able to release that video because I was really paranoid at the time about losing, channel monetization. So, but it's probably really old and dated and crappy now, anyway. At least compared to like my modern, my current like production standards. Not that I've gotten a whole lot higher with my production standards, but exclusive gas station Mountain Dew is a vice of mine. Dude, I feel that so much. Anytime I see a new flavor, I'm like, okay, I gotta try that new Mountain Dew, that Mountain Dew citrus tropical butthole flavor or whatever it is, It's like, yes, I will be taking that. But it's funny, though, because, like, most of the time, like, I don't know, I've gotten to a point where, like, maybe I've tried so many different Mountain Dew flavors that a lot of the new ones that they release just kind of all taste the same to me. I don't really notice much difference between them. I'm like, yep, well, that tastes like Mountain Dew with a very slight twist to it. So... Isn't Buc-ee's the one with those clean-ass bathrooms? That's a good question. I have no idea. I don't know what... I've never been to one, but it sounds like a magical wonderland. I'm gonna have to get to one eventually. Walmart's getting another exclusive Dew. Tell me about this exclusive Dew. It's probably not good for me to know about these things, actually. I'm like, trying my best to kind of like kick sugary drinks to the side, which actually I've been doing a really good job about. I don't drink a whole lot of sugary drinks these days. I kind of get them every once in a while, which is okay. It's better than having them like exclusively every single day. I drink water now more than anything. But yeah, I don't know. I guess flavored Mountain Dew. I don't know once in a while. It's probably fine. Little Caesars Mango Mountain Dew. Interesting. Sorry if I'm not typing anything out, but I'm Brazilian. I have zero to contribute to this USA food stuff. I'm sorry about that. This is not a conversation for the Brazilian viewers out there. My bad. Well, honestly, it's getting pretty late. It's about 3:30. I'm very tempted to see if Wawa has any mac and cheese tonight. I might have to take a trip to Wawa for garlic aioli mac and cheese because they didn't have it last night and I still really want it. And yeah, what TJ Bond said, you're not missing much. It's really not. It's really not that great. Definitely is bad for us. Especially gas station mac and cheese. I mean, I can't even imagine what they're actually putting in that stuff, but it's like crack. Hey, before we sign this thing off for tonight, we're at 98 likes. Do you think you guys could hit that like button once or twice for me, so we can just push it over that magical 100 number? That would be splendid. Yes, gas station mac and cheese sounds like a good way to get more gas in your tank. Yep, you're right. Oh, man. There we go, 101 likes. Woohoo! Oh, we're up to 107 now. Woohoo! Well, I'm going to ask just the remaining crowd that we have here this evening. Did you guys kind of enjoy this? I know it's just been a yap stream. That's all it's been. I've just been sitting here yapping about just any fucking thing for the last 3.5 hours. If you think you'd be interested in more, just let me know. Let me know and I'll see your words here before I sign off. It's been fun. It's just kind of been fun to sit and chat, Sometimes I don't want to jump on here and play games, Sometimes I just want to chillax. And that's it. And just yap. So, getting on here and just chatting away with you guys is it's just a fun little relaxing thing. I know I just did one like 2 days ago. I wouldn't say to expect them like this often necessarily, but like, maybe once a week. I don't want to like hold myself to anything because then I get burnt out. I like stress over needing to be prepared for a stream on a given day, So, we'll just kind of go with the flow. We'll see. Oh. Just chatting streams are always fun. This was fun. Help make my courier week of the day fly by. Awesome. You can do a silly game if you want to do something while chatting, like Billy Hatcher or the like. Yeah, that's true. And like, don't get me wrong. This isn't me saying that like, hey, I'm never going to get on here and play games again. I'll definitely do more of that. I just sometimes I just don't feel like playing a game. Sometimes I just want to yap. So, but yeah, I'll definitely have to. I don't know. I have to get on here and do this more often, and I got to set some more stream goals for the future, so that way I can just fund the channel, basically. I really want editing help, is what I want more than anything for this channel. It's just, I'm not quite at a place where it's making buku bucks to both support an editor and myself, if you know what I mean. Maybe I can just, like, I don't know, not necessarily have like a full-time editor, just somebody who I bring in every now and then or something. But yeah, all of your super chats today have contributed towards that. All of your views, viewership, watch hours, all that fun stuff. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are awesome. It's been fun. That's how I've sat here and rambled for as long as I have, 3.5 hours, because it's just fun. I like chatting with you guys. So, and hey, another. I'm like losing my train of thought now. Another super chat from Snap Sling P Vine, $2 super chat. This stream got me through the day, man. Thank you. Well, I'm happy that it did. I'm happy that I was able to be here and provide you with some listening material. Just a low stress, goofy game. Chats are great. Love chatting with you and the monkey crew. Wish I could help. All I can do is teach you how to play the tuba. Well, hey, you know, if I'm ever looking for some tuba lessons, I know who to hit up. Vibe Hill, I just need to. I need to stop talking. I gotta wrap this up because I'm just like combining words and slurring my words and all that kind of shit now. Vibe here was super chill. Looking forward to the next stream. Well, I'm glad. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the super chats from me today, Turbo Pikachu and Froucher and TJ Bond and everybody. Aiden, if you're still out there, you're a legend. All right, I'm actually gonna try to peel myself away from it here because I'll keep going if I don't. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for being here. It's been a lot of fun. I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So long.